right, let's go live.
Make sure you're recording.
Great call. Great
Talked to
call.
Chris earlier. He said that
I'm recording.
He did a lot of podcasting and editing, so he's kind of white, but he said he might be here in a little bit.
Okay, we'll have to see. Welcome back, everybody. This is Mark 85, the Super Civil Servant Podcast. My name is Greg, and I'm wearing my Captain Marvel shirt. You can't really see it in honor of Wandavision and tonight. I know that really makes no sense, but it doesn't need to.
You're reaching a little bit.
I'm saying it like the guy that found Star-Lord on that planet.
Yeah.
No, that's the first thing that popped in my head was him cocking his head and saying that.
Here we go. Got us through tonight. Nathan, Sarah, what's up?
Hello. We are the Trinity. We got Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman here, and we're ready to kick the shit out of this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Nathan, you are correct.
All right. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Well, I know.
Obviously, I'm Superman. I'm obviously the beacon of hope around here. So I'm just saying,
I'll be the guy who broods. Yeah. I'm that guy. So we got one thing to wrap up tonight. We're going to wrap up our Mighty Ducks coverage, which leading up to the series, which I think comes out in like a week and a half. I think I'm not sure the exact date. I'll have to check it. 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2, 3. Yeah, you're right. It's right around there.
It's right around.
To be honest with you, I haven't been following it all that closely, and I don't know why. Like I love these movies, and they're still great on a rewatch. But I don't know if I'm like yearning for more. I don't know. Like I'm probably wait till I hear people be like, this is the greatest show ever, or like, what a great, I don't know.
If they Karate Kid it,
Well, see, and that's the thing. That's the thing. I still haven't watched Cobra Kai, and everybody, and I mean everybody tells me you will love it. Everybody tells me that.
It's pretty good.
I got my one buddy that says, even your wife, even if she hated Karate Kid, she will like this show. Like he's really on me to watch it, and I still haven't.
Yeah, I haven't either. I've been like on a Letterkenny kick, so
I've heard that was good too. That might be one. Me and my wife just finished. We did the complete Big Bang Theory rewatch. We did that complete rewatch, from series to series, and I love that show. I
recommend Letterkenny because you will get some very good guffaws off of that one.
Well, and we're watching The Office too for the first time, both of us too, going through that, and God, that's what a treat that's been. Where have I been? During all this, that show is literally right up my alley.
Yeah,
all the nonsense Michael Scott says, like that's me, like that is me.
That's how I felt when I watched Community.
Yeah,
but absolutely, that's what I want to rewatch again.
So we're gonna knock out D3 tonight. And you're right. We'll talk about it when we get into it. But we're gonna wrap this movie series up. Got a lot of Justice League, Zack Snyder Justice League stuff to talk about, which is gonna be really fun. And WandaVision wrapped up this week, so we're gonna talk about the finale, how we felt about it.
I hope that we get some other guests to join us for the WandaVision discussion. I'm not trying to say anything one way or the other, but I just know our kind of link. I'd like Clay and maybe somebody else just to see what you guys think, because I've got some. I don't know, probably not hot takes or interesting takes, but I've got some like what takes. You know what I mean?
The invite is open in the chat, so they have access to get in here. I watched it twice. I watched it once during my lunch break today, and then I watched it again when I got home because I had time, and so I've got some thoughts about it too. But we're gonna save that little juicy piece for last, I believe. But before we get into anything, we do need to go ahead and plug the network.
Sure.
Our part
Sarah?
Yes.
Give us the plugs. Did you see her looking at me?
I just sit back. I'm like, it's like I don't even remember where everybody is anymore, honestly.
Okay. Well, I'll knock this one out then. We are part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network, where you can find shows 7 days a week. We got World's Finest True Believers covering comic book story arcs and from any or graphic novels from any publisher. DC Alliance podcast, Marvel Alliance podcast, Star Wars Alliance podcast, Ranger Alliance podcast, covering all set properties, anything and everything that goes with them. There's Slice of Film with Katie, and she's covering different films with people. There is superhero discussions with me and Travis, and we are covering animated series right now. We're trucking through Batman the Animated Series, so it's getting better as it goes. This week wasn't as good as it has been, but I'm expecting some good stuff to come soon. It's come to the end of the first season. I think after the end of the first season, we're going to watch Mask of the Phantasm.
Yes.
So that'll be pretty fun. Hopefully get some people to join us.
I cannot wait for your thoughts on that movie. I don't want to pump it up one way or the other for you, but I really can't wait for your thoughts on that movie.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. And then, of course, Super Civil Servants on Friday nights here live with us. Audio drops on Saturdays. And then we have Weird Science, DC, and Marvel comic books on Saturdays and Sundays. So I think that's about it. Did I wrap everything up? Well, I know Star Wars Alliance is on Sundays now.
We also have a Patreon account where,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the $1 is basically the tip jar, and $5 gets you early, exclusive, ad-free. You'll get your early and ad-free episodes and exclusive content that's not available anywhere else. And we are also an ad-supported network, and we don't get to choose the ads, the volume, any of that stuff. So just bear with us in mind when that comes up. We'll try to give you a warning. And also, here at the beginning of the show, I'd just like to say, if anybody hasn't done it yet, to rate and review, or and like just kind of share, like, because it really does, if on your podcatcher of choice, whatever, even if you think we're a 3-star, you know what I mean, whatever, give us the 3 stars, but just rating and review helps, and on the YouTube, thumbs up and all that weird stuff. And while we're talking about it, I would just like to say congratulations to Chris Balga, because World's Finest True Believers is coming up on its 50th episode, and I know he's been hard at work doing that, and it should come out, I think he said, the last Monday of this month. And like I said, that's just the time, the amount of time and dedication it takes to put that together. I just want to say bravo, Chris. My hat's off to you. Congratulations on 50, and here's the 50 more. It's coming up, guys. But yeah, I think that's a huge milestone, and congratulations to him, because he does a lot of great work for that show.
Yes. It's a fantastic show. I love being on it. Love listening to it. Love being on it. So it's really, really fun. I think that was about it right there, wasn't it?
Oh, and we know that this week Marvel Alliance announced that there's going to be some changes. Travis Snell, basically the founder of the network, is going to have to leave because life and work got in the way. But I'd just like to say congratulations to him on his promotion. I know it sucks he's got to leave the show, but congratulations on him for getting that promotion, bettering his family and stuff. And we all know the real world comes first, and this is just fun stuff. But I just want to say congratulations to him, because that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Second that as well.
And I'm sure Chris will find somebody he's got just as good chemistry with, and the show will continue with its high standard as always. I have no doubt.
Yep, 100% agree with you, buddy. All right, well, that's it. I think got everything out of the way. All the paperwork.
I just want to say at the top of the show, I just wanted to ask everybody's D's at the beginning of the show and get it out of the way, and now we can move on.
Yeah, it's always good to start with that. So. All right. Well, let's get going then. Let's knock D3 out, because this is the third series, the third movie of the Mighty Ducks trilogy. This is the last movie, correct? And then there's the animated series, which we're not going to cover, and the new series coming out on Netflix. There's a Disney Plus.
There's
Disney Plus.
Oh, the Mighty Ducks anime. I'm like, wait a minute. No. That's with like actual alien ducks that come out and play hockey. So okay, right. I was like, what?
But it's still, it's still in the name. Sure. All right, well, let's get into it. This one is, I don't want to say it reminds me of like Ninja Turtles and Back to the Future and stuff like that, where the third one just doesn't hold up.
Cash grab. Oh wait, sorry.
But you can tell it's like the same story. Like the second one is almost the same story as the first one, but there's a little bit different. You're like, okay, they're not going to tell the same story in the third one, are they? And they tell the same story in the third one, just change characters around a little bit. It's
kind of like Incredibles 1 and 2, where they literally tell the exact same story, only this time it's Mrs. Incredible instead of Mr. Incredible. So yeah, I get it.
They made you wait like 10 years for that one, so that's
sure to have the exact same movie with the characters not progressing, and literally it's just the mom doing it instead of the dad this time. Like, okay, whatever. Whatever's whatever.
Let's see. Once again, Charlie is a dick. This is the kind of guy you want to fight. Like for me, it is, at least. Whines about every single thing you can possibly whine about. His mom makes a return in this movie, which she was MIA in the last movie, right?
I do. Yeah, I believe. Oh man, now you say it, now I'm second guessing. But yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember her being in the second one.
Yeah, I don't think she was in the second one. They have mention of her in the second one, but I don't believe she was in the second one. And then she's not in this one. And then of course you got your Emilio Estevez cameos in this one. That fit the story. So, good.
No, I was just agreeing with you. Yeah, like you said, it's basically just the cameo for the looks back the Brinks truck up to his house, getting him to come in and smile in this movie.
Mm-hmm. I wonder how much he got paid for this, because I would like to go back and add up how much screen time he had. And I guess he was in a few scenes, but I guess total he probably had like 7 minutes of screen time, just enough to say he's there.
Mm-hmm.
So, All right, let me get into it a little bit because I guess I'm the only one who kind of rewatched it. But
Well, like I said, I didn't watch any of it, so I'm just gonna sit back and listen.
I'll bounce off you, Greg. As you talk about things, it will jog my memory. Like I remember right now, instantly in my head when I think of this movie, I remember like, isn't it the opening rollerblading scene through the campus? Like they're all like rollerblading as a team through the campus of the college or whatever.
Yeah, well, it's not
like the opening scene, but but you know what I'm saying. They're all like.
That's kind of what's going on. Well, they're that's somewhere in the beginning where they're going to their first day of orientation on this new school because apparently they're freshmen in high school in this one, which is strange because I could have sworn they seemed like they were around high school age last movie. In this one, they're freshmen in high school.
That's why I thought college was the thing. Like I said, it's been a while, and like I said, it's a failure on my part that I didn't rewatch it. I apologize, but. That's just always the part that pops in my head. It stuck with me for whatever reason is them doing that line skating shit or whatever.
And they're doing
all kinds of train.
Yeah, they're doing all kinds of crap that you would never ever be able to do. Like they're knocking people down with groceries and stuff and just flying by.
Just being dicks. Yeah. Just being dicks.
But yeah, it's just funny because I don't remember them being that young in the last movie. It felt like they were like freshmen in high school in the last movie, and apparently they're freshmen in high school in this movie. But I think the setting of this movie is supposed to be almost immediately after the last one, is what they're going for. Even though I think it was 2 years later they made the movie, but I think the setting for it is supposed to be immediately afterwards. Let's see. The weirdest thing about this movie is that not the weirdest thing. One weird thing about this movie is that you would bet the mascot of a school on a hockey game between a varsity and a freshman team, or varsity and JV team. You know how much it would cost a school to change their mascot.
Yes.
All on a bet.
Yes.
Between some 14-year-olds and some 18-year-olds.
Yes.
Like it's just not happening.
And the school would hold that. They would hold that to high standards and say, well, I mean, it was a bet's a bet, guys. So we got to do this.
Well, they did it almost immediately. As soon as the game was won, it's like they knew it was going to happen. As soon as the game was won, they rolled the banner down. They had the new symbol on it. I was like, okay, well, Bombay definitely flexes his legal muscle in this one because he puts their balls in a vice and they try to revoke their scholarships because that's the whole deal is these kids have all gotten scholarships. High school. It's a private high school, and they're going to be the JV team there. There's one hockey game, which is like the only hockey game they actually show. It's funny. There's only 2 games in this whole hockey games in this whole movie. There's the first game they play, and then there's the one where they play varsity. So the whole movie, which is about hockey, has almost no hockey in it at all.
You're not supposed to notice things like that.
I found that kind of funny, but I think it's funny that the first game they're playing against a team and they are smashing this team. It's like 8-0 or 9-0 going into the third period. And then all of a sudden the other team wakes up and scores 9 goals in the third period.
Wow, that's just how it goes.
Okay. Yeah. I see that happening, but I mean, I guess it's possible, right?
It's possible.
And then all of a sudden, because they're so motivated, these 14-year-old kids are going against 18-year-old kids. Yeah. And they're all of a sudden, because they have the motivation, they're good enough to compete with them. Like they're knocking them over and everything. I was like, that guy's like a foot taller than you.
First of all, I just want to call out to the trope of like back in the 80s and 90s of where your high school kids would all be like 29, 30-year-olds. I'm thinking like 90210 and like all these shows where they're supposed to be like their teen. Because I remember watching it being like, Jesus, that guy's got a fucking 10-foot beard. Like, I mean, just to define, I'm like, what is, I'm looking at myself in the mirror going, I don't fucking look anything like this in high school. Like, that always cracked me up. You got 30-year-olds playing like 16-year-olds at the locker and shit. I'm glad we've kind of gotten over that trope, but I always think of that when I think of high school, old high school movies.
There is one thing I could look at in this movie and relate to now that I couldn't when I was younger and watched this. This movie's way different now than it was when I was younger. These are 14-year-olds, and I watched Charlie's Attitude. Huh? Yeah. I watched Charlie's Attitude, and I look at him like, man, like this guy. And then I have a 14-year-old, and I think about it. I'm like, oh, I see it. They nailed that role pretty good. Sometimes. But
what Greg's trying to say is teenagers suck, and it's not your fault. We all sucked as teenagers. Every one of us sucked. It's not your fault, but The quicker you grow out of your suckiness, the better. So
It's
we
like a rite
love
of
you.
passage.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, everybody looks back their teenage years and goes, "Ah, what a dick I was," or just what an ass, or some of this stuff. So I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Well, it's just so funny because there's one scene in here where he's talking to Hans right before Hans, spoilers, dies in this movie. There's one scene
spoiler.
where he's talking to him the night before he passes away. And he's asking him, he says, "You're not a little boy anymore. So you got to stop acting like one." And Charlie says, "I don't get what he wants from me." That's what he wants from you. He wants you to stop acting like a little boy. Like, it's just so simple. You just got
basically
told.
said, "Man up." He basically said, "Man
like,
up."
That's what he wants from you. Stop acting like a little boy. I mean, we can't make it any more clear. And I saw that and I was like, because that reminded me of being a parent of a teenager. And I was like, okay, I got you. So it makes sense. So this
what
movie
do you want from me? That's clear as mud, Dad. No, stop it.
Yeah. So watching this movie as an adult, I definitely look at it from a different viewpoint in certain scenes, because Charlie, he seems like the guy that I would have wanted to fight whenever I was younger. Maybe he was just the guy that I wouldn't have hung out with.
Charlie and I would have fought, and then we'd have been best friends afterward, because I was a dick to as a kid. Like, not like to the extent of him, but like I was kind of, whatever, call it what you want, being a boy, boys being boys, whatever. But I would be Charlie, and I would have been the kind of, we've been like, I hate you, and we fight, and then like the next day you're like, we're best friends. It's like, you know what I mean? I think most boys anyway had that one friend that it was something like that. It was, you hated him, you fought, and then after that, he was like, oh, this guy's great. Like, we're gonna go hang out.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of boys acting like that, there were some pretty cool pranks in this one. At least one that I thought was pretty ingenious, and it's one that I've remembered throughout my life because I thought it was so cool when I was younger. It's where they tie the doors together when they're in the dorms, because all the varsity team is in their dorm rooms, and they somehow tangle this rope where all the doors are tied together. So when each one pulls, it closes the other door.
Yeah.
And then they release the Brazilian fire ants into the rooms. I was like, oh, that's genius. That takes some real thinking right there. I can appreciate that one.
Can you imagine the extermination bill trying to get all the ants out of there? What dicks? What dicks? That exterminating bill, they got to bomb the entire dorm room. Just a bunch of dicks.
Rich preppy school.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, all in all, this was the same story, just with kind of a different coach. And the actor who played the new coach did a great job in the role. Motivational speeches towards the end. It's a Disney movie. You have to think of it like that. And it's an old Disney movie. So there are a lot of tropes in this movie, or a lot of things in this movie. Like there's the scene where not Fulton, but the other Bash brother, or whatever his name is, gets in the penalty box and starts taking his clothes off, and all the women in the crowd are going crazy. Yeah. And I was like, okay, he's 14. Yeah. He's a 14-year-old kid, stripping, taking his clothes off, and all the women. And I was like, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
No problem. So
Disney movie.
Yeah, Disney movie, 90s Disney movie. Like that would not happen these days. No. They may put a disclaimer in front of their movie.
Oh, it's coming, buddy. Yeah. It's coming.
They're going to listen to this and be like, you know what? He's right. Let's put a disclaimer in front of it. Yeah. I'm trying to think. This movie, I was hoping that watching this series would make me want to maybe be more excited for the show coming up. And I'm going to give the show a chance either way. But I'm like, Nathan, I'm not really more excited for it. I do love these movies from my childhood. I've got a little bit different view of them watching them now as I'm older. But I still love the movies. It just didn't excite me. Like, I'll see what happens. Like I said, I'll give it a chance, but it's not something that I'm going to be there like day one. Like, we got to watch this because we're covering night of type deal. So
yeah, that's something most likely for me. Like I said, I'll let a couple episodes build up, and then if I hear all this positive buzz or somebody that I trust, I'll give it an episode.
Did you say it was on Netflix?
No, it's on Disney Plus, I believe.
Disney Plus. Yeah, kind of let it just. Yeah. Is it going to be like a weekly release type show?
I think so. I think we finally reverted back to the weekly anticipated releases. I'm pretty sure that's where everything's going back.
Because it might be one of those, you just kind of let it go and then just kind of binge it. Like you said, just a few episodes at a time.
Yeah.
Because some shows are kind of better than that. Just sit around on like a Saturday or Sunday. You don't really have anything to do.
I know
Yeah,
people that
but-
do that with network or not network streaming services. Like they'll buy a streaming service and watch everything they want to off that streaming service for like 2 or 3 months, then cancel that streaming service and go to another one and watch everything they want to. I'm like, that's crazy. I mean, it's smart, I suppose, and there's nothing wrong with it because they don't have contracts.
Because they're
Yeah.
got ADD and they can't stick with it or whatever.
Well, I can't say too much. I did that with Hulu because I tried it out for like a
Yeah.
week and I didn't like it. And then I was like, I didn't really go into it and find stuff. But then, yeah, I have it again.
See, that's my problem is with streaming first squirrel, by the way, with streaming services.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I think I started this one.
Whatever. Yeah.
With streaming services, I have certain ones for certain things I go to. Like I have Hulu, but I don't go to Hulu if I want to find a TV show to watch or a series to watch. I go to Hulu if I want to watch a sports game, if I want to watch a basketball game or football game, because that's what I've got Hulu for, is live sports.
Mhm.
Okay. If I want to now, if I want to go watch something like a movie that I love or a television show, it's probably going to be on HBO Max.
Mhm.
If I want to watch some kind of crazy, Netflix has the original series. So I go to different ones for different things. So I don't know that I could go and like limit myself to one streaming service for like 2 or 3 months and just watch everything on there.
You can't be monogamous with one streaming service.
Can't do it. No,
I can't quite do that.
promiscuous with my streaming
Damn it.
You
services,
got to spread it
right.
around.
Right, right.
I don't think the Lord ever meant for you to be with one streaming service.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's
I don't have
I
the Discovery
understand.
Plus yet. I don't have that one because I haven't.
I don't have that
haven't
one yet
committed
either.
to that one yet. So.
Although I did find out I can get that for free because I have Verizon Unlimited plan, so I can get that for free for a year. So I will have Discovery Plus. My wife was looking for CBS All Access today, and she was like, "Where is it? Where is it?" And I was like,
Paramount.
"Spare my Plus." I didn't,
Yeah, because it didn't switch over from. I mean, it's still doing its own little thing. I mean, which I haven't pulled it up on my phone, but I know on the TV it still says CBS. So I'm like, I don't care what it is.
Oh, on my TV it switched over to Paramount Plus.
Well, mine's old and stupid, so I mean, it's.
Hey,
Hey,
howdy
hello.
do.
What's up,
Howdy
buddy?
do. The man who doesn't sleep. If Daredevil's the man without fear, Clay's the man without sleep. That's what we're going with.
What's
You
up,
know,
Clay?
I got your text, Nathan, like what 4:30 in the morning when we were still recording the Wandavision review.
Yeah.
And you asked me, man, do you ever sleep? And I was like, I ask that question to myself every freaking night.
You grab those cat naps every now and again, don't you?
Oh man, so I've been learning, like, because I'm back in school or whatever. I've been learning this thing about like not multitasking, but multi-switching.
Oh.
And it's and how you like basically require yourself to give yourself basically not 20 to 35 minutes of rest after every 90 minutes or 120 minutes. I would never be able to do that if I was like working anywhere
Sounds
else.
exhausting.
Since I'm working at home, like I've been able to. So I think that's why I'm able to, like, one night of every week be able to stay up until like freaking 5 a.m. It wasn't really the greatest thing because I had a job interview today. And I only had 4 hours of sleep, I think.
Mhm.
But I woke up 45 minutes before my interview, so that was interesting.
Oh God. Oh
Yeah.
God.
But in regards to y'all's streaming talk,
Oh yes, yes.
for me, whenever there is a new streaming service, it is really hard for me to not pull the trigger. I don't know what it is, but I have a lot of them. I have Hulu.
It's like I'm addicted to streaming services.
Basically.
Just give me one stream. Come on, man. Can I get one stream?
Just give me one. Just give me one.
No, for real. But I haven't pulled the trigger on Paramount Plus yet.
I love it. I love it.
I want to, but not yet. I've been telling my wife to go ahead and get Discovery Plus because she loves watching 90 Day Fiance and all those other shows that are on TLC. So I'm like, it's $5. Just do it. Like, it's
Just do it, man.
less. That is, I could honestly say, if I didn't eat out for like 1 day per week, we could afford Discovery Plus, and that's super easy. That's super easy. You know, that's a bowl of ramen once a week. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Where are you
that is
paying
a couple
$5
of
for a
pallets
bowl
of
of ramen?
ramen for
Oh, you're talking
$5.
about eating a bowl
Goddamn,
of
I'll get a
ramen once
whole
a week to
pallet.
replace that meal.
That's
I would get a
that's
whole
I
pallet
meant
of
get it.
shit.
I meant eating.
Now I get it. Yeah. Now I get it.
Eating a bowl of ramen instead of going
Sure.
out to eat.
It takes my mind just that little bit of extra time to process things. So like, I don't know.
Sure.
It's crazy. Yeah.
No, but like for Hulu, for me, I only use it for anime. That's where all the dub stuff goes to. I would get
Dub for life.
I would get Crunchyroll or Funimation, but it's not dubbed immediately. And then I think the subscription service is like $5 more than what I use for Hulu. So not going to do that. So I have that. Like you were saying, Greg, the one to go to as far as like, hey, what new stuff should I watch is always Netflix. I don't know why, it always is. And then as far as like my comfort stuff, I have found out that my comfort is in Disney Plus, just randomly finding old shows that I used to watch as a kid. And then whenever I want to watch a movie, it's HBO Max. So it's really weird how it's all over the place, but that's how it is.
I try to make sure that I use all of them, at least once a week, or I feel bad about paying for all of them because I do have all of them. I didn't expect to, but you're right. When a new one comes out, I'm like, oh, I want to see that. Even though I don't have time to watch it, at some point in time, I'm going to want to see that.
Sure.
And since it's digital now, it'll be there. They have
until they remove it for content, or it gets canceled or whatever.
Then somebody else will buy the rights to it and put it on their streaming service. It'll always be out there.
That's neither here nor there, but
right.
As we continue on.
That was a big squirrel. That's a big old fat juicy squirrel we just chased right there. We might
good
even call
eating.
that a streaming.
Good eating.
Popped up.
Whatever. That's what we do here.
That's right. All right. Well, let's go ahead and take our first break. Let's come back and let's start breaking down some Zack Snyder Justice League stuff because we're 13 days away. We've got some videos. Good. We've got some videos, and I'm interested to hear y'all's thoughts on them. Me and Travis are going to break this down on DC Alliance as well with a bunch of other stuff that's come out about the Snyder Cut. So, but for now, let's hear some thoughts. But let's take our break. We'll be right back, and we'll do with that. All right, we're back. So, before we watch the videos, let's get some thoughts. Sarah, can't wipe that Joker smile off your face. Let's talk about the Batman one first.
Oh yeah, I was actually I pulled it up the chat and just looking at it, and Brian, I was like, Brian, he was on a Zoom call, and the next thing I know, I walk back in here and I hear him playing it. So, and it's just like we had a conversation about it tonight. He is like geeking out. He's just saying, well, there's so much more content, this we haven't seen. I'm like, honey, I know.
My podcast about it. I know this.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So yeah, when I watched that trailer, oh my gosh, I was just like, hearing all the voices and everything, you're just like, oh yeah, I'm like super psyched. I'm super psyched.
Clay, what do you think, man?
I love this Batman one. It was kind of unexpected when it dropped, so I really enjoyed that. I wasn't expecting the reveal of Darkseid's voice. That was something I wasn't expecting at all. But hearing it is very, very nice. And honestly, for those of you who don't know, spoilers, hearing the voice of Martian Manhunter as well. In that.
So cool.
Linux's voice almost sounds very identical to Carl Lumbly in Justice League. The animated series.
Yes.
Like him talking, it almost sounded like Carl Lumbly, and I was like,
John Jones.
"What?
Yeah,
in the
like
world?" It's just his voice. It's just, oh my god, it's so good. But Sarah, has your husband stolen your cup yet? No,
I'm still holding on to it.
I actually,
like some things I will fight him over.
I finally made one for myself, and I used a color that I wasn't using for everybody else's, so that way mine could be unique.
There you go.
I actually did like the actual logo, the black and silver.
Nice.
I like that. I
was like, I want to be different. I'm the one making the cups, so.
Nathan, what do you think, buddy?
That man, like that Batman one, dude, so cool. Like just you know what I mean, just so cool. Like and like you said, I wasn't expecting the dark side kind of voice reveal, and it's just like each new piece of dialogue or each new scene that I see, even with like Jonathan Kent's voiceover or like Luthor or some from BVS, and like just the lines that they overlap with some of the scenes, it just makes the scenes even those words go in a new context. You know what I mean? Or you see things a little differently. And I just really liked it. I know everybody was all like making memes and stuff about like Superman helping Batman up, but all the little tank thing, whatever,
the Martha
to
Bros.
go up. Yeah, and then they were doing the thing where like Cyborg and Flash are looking at each other, and like
fist bump.
yeah, and I love that. And then the Superman one that came out today, was it? I know, like that one was fucking man. Like I just love this Superman, like just Henry Cavill, like just that scout ship. I can't wait to walk through there because when all them pods are opening up, we've seen every one of those suits. His Superman suit, Feora's, like the female Kryptonian suit. It looks like Feora's back there. You got their astronaut outfit gear that you saw Zod searching other worlds for. When they found the world engine with the cool flashlights on the boobies or whatever. And then you got like Zod's actual armor sitting there on that other side shit, which was really cool. So I really like that. The more man, the more I see of this, the more I'm like, yes, my mouth's just watering more and
I know
more.
we keep getting teased. It's like, stop teasing. I'm ready.
I cannot stop smiling sitting here watching this Batman one. I've had it on the last 5 minutes. We've been sitting here talking, and it's been playing over and over. And I just can't stop watching, can't stop smiling. And it's funny because I've been kind of off Twitter. I've been I get on to check the DMs every once in a while and to tweet stuff about the shows, but I've just been kind of off Twitter, and on my days off, especially, I just kind of hop off and don't really check Twitter much. So when this came out, I didn't even know it, and then I podcasted with Travis the next day, and he was like, "You didn't see this?" And I watched it live with him. I mean, not live. I watched it for the first time with him. It was absolutely amazing. Chris, what's up, buddy?
Hi.
Hold it, buddy.
How are you all?
I don't know if you heard the beginning of this already, but I was mentioning your 50th episode coming out, and congratulating you and stuff on
very, very much.
All your hard work and your accomplishments coming out, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, it'll be out in like a couple more weeks, end of this month.
Nice.
So it's gonna be it's a very different episode.
Okay.
A good one. A different
fitting.
one.
Well, Greg, you were talking about Travis saying you hadn't seen it. Like I saw pictures, like new pictures and stuff on Reddit of like the Batman or Superman helping him up and stuff, and I'm like, oh cool, Zach releasing pictures and stuff. And it wasn't until like 3 hours later I'm like, what? There's a little like 1 minute, what? And then today even I'm seeing all these things, and I even sent Greg a picture of something. Like just thinking it was just photos released, and Greg's like, oh, I like that Batman trailer better than Superman. I go, well, I didn't realize there was a Superman one. I had to go like do it out again. I did the same.
I realized that there was going to be a Superman one as soon as I was going down to sleep. Yes, at 5 a.m. after the review for WandaVision. I can't remember the handle, but it's the one handle on Twitter that basically shows what hashtags are going to be getting little like emblems and stuff.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman's tomorrow.
Yeah, I saw that Superman was popping up, so I was like, okay, let me share this little story, and I did post it. Anybody can go see it. It was just on the notes that I did on my phone. Man of Steel and Superman hold a very special place for me, and the reason why is when Man of Steel's trailers were first starting, I was couch hopping. I was homeless. There was moments where I was like sleeping like in the park bench and like having my hands out for money and all sorts of stuff.
Been there, brother.
Not living the best life. And I was couch hopping with some friends, and I heard that the second trailer came out. My friend went to work, and I went to his computer, and within seconds, literally within seconds, Hans Zimmer's score came on, and like my eyes were already misty-eyed. Like that day, I saw Superman in real life. Like that's what it felt like for me. So by the time trailer number 2 was released when I first saw it, and by the time Man of Steel came out in theaters, like I was motivated just by that trailer, and I was already in my first apartment. So like, I will account
Oh.
Superman for basically
Wait a minute. Henry
saving
Cavill
my life.
Superman's uninspiring. He's just a evil smileless death machine. What? What? How does this doesn't compute?
I saw you
But-
post that on Twitter, Clay. That
That's a hell of a
literally
story.
just brought a tear to my eye, man. When I read
yeah,
that on Twitter,
it was so amazing seeing that trailer, seeing Clark in the water, having Martha's voiceover, and
Yes.
all of this other stuff.
Yes.
I recognize that like 2 minutes, like almost to a T, and it's just amazing. I watch it every time that I get the chance to. Whenever I remember it, I'll go watch it, because it just holds that much of an important place in my heart. And to finally see from where I was just couch hopping to where I am now, uh, owning my own apartment, 2-bedroom apartment, is something that I never knew I was going to be able to do in my life. And now seeing almost the ending, that could go into
Right.
theories and everything else as far as the whole Justice League thing, but seeing what could be the finale of Superman's story from Zack Snyder is just beautiful and amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful
I
story.
agree.
Yeah.
I get it, man. And that's awesome. Hey, like you said, like they say, started from the bottom, now we here. You know what I'm saying? Like I know, a couple years ago, that's what all the kids were saying. But hey, that's true. That's the come up story, brother. Everybody's got their own, and that's yours. And that's awesome that Man of Steel was a part of that journey. Because like I said, that is still my favorite. That is my favorite movie. I had other favorite movies before that, and then that movie came out, and literally I've never seen Superman in that light before. Like I remember I watched Superman the animated series. I watched the Justice League stuff. And I remember even like there was Batman, the new Batman Adventures. It was Batman and Superman. I remember Batman would come on, or Superman would come on first, and I'd kind of like, oh, all right, I'll watch it just because it's on. And and then because I was waiting for Batman, and then like literally Man of Steel came out, and I saw Superman in a whole new light, and that was a kind of a good way for you when you said it was like you saw him in real life, and like that's what I felt like is like Superman was literally in the world that I lived in because it was so real. I don't know, man. Like and ever since I love that movie. It's my favorite movie. It holds a special place in my heart.
Yep.
And it's just like you said, to see. And for all intent, if this is all we ever get, at least we get the culmination of like the Superman trilogy. We get the birth, the death, and the rebirth. You know what I mean? Like it's just
for real. Yeah.
This is gonna be like, even if this is all we ever get, if I don't ever get to watch another comic book movie or arc or anything again, like I'll be content to watch. Not that I don't want more, but I'll be content to watch this. And even if this new Superman with that that one guy coming out, and if they go back to the Reeves age, whatever, I'll always have this. Like this can be mine because it did speak to me in a certain way, and I can have this. This could be me, and if you don't like it, F off. That's more for me. And if you know what I mean, if anything else comes out and I don't like it, whatever, I can always go back to this.
Yeah, I agree. Chris, what do you think, man? We're talking about the Batman one right now. We're gonna talk about it, then walk in.
I know,
and
I
watch the
jumped.
Batman one, and then
I jumped over. I know.
Oh, you're good.
No, I love. We had heard from him that we're going to be getting these character trailers and things like that. But starting off with Batman. I love we got to hear Ray Porter as Darkseid for the very first time. That we've all been hoping finally to hear it, and just to have that moment. But even the new lines from Alfred, you fulfilled your promise.
Right.
That and seeing in live action, the Bat Tank, and it's epic. A lot of us here, Batman's my number one, and just seeing more and more of what Ben Affleck brought to that role is going to be a very, very special thing at that point. Even though, yes, rumor has it, he's going to be in the Flashpoint, but with that at that point, we'll see when cameras start rolling to really believe it.
That's right. Yeah.
But no, this is cool. Like I said, the rumor is Wonder Woman's dropping tomorrow.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure. So is there going to be one for every character?
Yes, there will be one for every character.
It's going to end technically, I think, on Monday. I think will be the last one.
Because then it'll be. I will probably guess it probably will end with Cyborg.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll
The
be
heart
Wonder
of the
Woman, Aquaman, Flash, and then Cyborg. That's the
Okay.
rollout. I'm
Yeah, that
guessing.
was the question Brian had because he was saying the first thing was because had the Batman logo behind that. So he's like, I wonder if they're going to do one for everyone. I'm like,
But then wouldn't it end on Tuesday? Or are they doing 2 and 1?
That's what I was trying to do the math.
Oh,
in my
Flash and
head, but math is
Cyborg
not my thing.
maybe together or Aquaman.
No.
Nah,
I think
they're
it.
gonna
I
do
think it will
every
end on
day.
Tuesday.
Yeah,
I think it
that
will
would
end
be
on
same
Tuesday.
thing.
Then, yeah.
Mm.
No, I know that some people were speculating with some things because
Let's hear it.
when this Batman one came out, they're like, oh, they did this on purpose. They totally did this on purpose. Somewhat jokingly teasing the fact that we might be getting a Batman movie. I'm not gonna hold my breath on it, but it would be cool. Just seeing that Bat logo, man, it just looks wonderful.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
But also the
Yes.
the fact that Zach can basically make concept art like into live action, because when it pans out, everybody was saying, "Oh my gosh, is that concept art or is that like the actual footage or whatever?" It looks gorgeous. It looks amazing. I will say though, that back half of the Batman trailer, I almost didn't recognize Ben Affleck's voice. I think this is clearly more of the reshoots, and he isn't quite as like
Additional photography.
yeah, sorry, not reshoot, sorry, additional photography, and he's very soft spoken in that back end of the trailer. So I felt that like it sounded a little weird, but I think more so it was more of his like, hey, I'm not the angry person that I was in BVS anymore. So
Right.
Were you wanting like a swear to me? Like is that
no,
what
because
you were wanting?
I think we're so used to
Where's the trigger?
I think we're so used to associating the gravelly like voice changing voice of Batman when he's in the suit, and because we
Rubber
hardly
baby
ever
boogie
get any
bumpers.
Bruce Wayne even in BVS.
Mhm.
There are only small pockets of Bruce Wayne that we get, and even in those moments he's kind of like angry and kind of like bulking up even to Alfred at some points. So this being a little bit soft spoken when he's talking about how he was basically against everybody at first,
Yeah. Wait, you were talking about something beautiful. Check this out. This is something beautiful. Just beautiful. Absolutely love that shot. I'm so glad that he starts this trailer out with this shot, because wasn't that the shot that we saw in the original trailer for Batman vs Superman, or Batman for Justice League, and never saw in the movie? So
No, Whedon literally reshot it and then put a piece of flappy plastic in front of him to obscure him for whatever reason.
yeah, oh, it's beautiful. All right, so let's check this out. I don't know if y'all be able to hear it or not, but let's play this and just kind of talk about it as it goes on. Can y'all hear that?
No.
Okay, well then I'm gonna turn the volume down then, so I can hear y'all. I love this shot, and I think Clay, this is what you were talking about the fan art looking.
Yeah, it looks like concept art when it starts to push back. About like right here, it starts to look not really like real, quote unquote.
It's beautiful.
And even at that moment, we hear Martian Manhunter saying, it's time for me to,
I have a stake in this world.
Have a stake in this world that I've come to live on.
How could you cut this out of a movie?
Because they're silly.
My goodness.
How much time you got?
Your promise.
How much time you got?
Look, I love this right here.
Now look.
That little hop.
I did not like the tactical suit that we got in Justice League. This, for some reason, does not look as bad. I don't know if maybe I've gotten used to it. Maybe it's the aesthetic. Color correction.
Sure. Color correction.
But I did not like the tactical suit in Batman in Justice League. This, I still don't. I'm not huge on a heavy armored suit, but this doesn't look that bad. So,
I don't want to say that, but can you see? I can totally see that being the suit that goes up against the Deathstroke in this universe. The little extra bits of armor and stuff.
Yeah, but from what a lot of people have been questioning, also, it's something that I wonder. We see him in the normal bat suit. Like,
Mhm.
what gets him into the mindset of like, oh shit, I need to put on my other suit.
He wasted his armor against Superman. Superman wrecked it.
But no, what he's
literally
saying
the
is
only armor he's
you
got.
see him in the normal bat suit in this
I know.
preview right here. Look, that right there, and when he's standing on the tank.
It's gonna be a Batman and Robin situation where Mr. Freeze is gonna freeze everything, and they got to go get their cool polar freeze suits and stuff. You know, that's what it's gonna be. They're gonna have he's gonna have silver shining stars.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, cool party.
So yeah, I'm excited. We get Wonder Woman tomorrow.
Oh
It'll
yeah,
be awesome. But I think of the two, I like this one the best.
we've
but
got
I'm
Wonder
also
Woman with
bigger
us tonight.
Well, I mean,
That's
even I know you already talked about the Superman one. What I liked about
No, we didn't. I jumped
didn't?
over it. No, I jumped over. I bulldozed.
Oh,
I
okay.
jumped ahead, Chris.
Oh, okay. Then I'll save it.
No, we'll go. I was gonna say we're gonna walk right
jump
into
into
Superman.
it.
Go
Roll
ahead,
into
Chris.
it. Come on.
You know,
Jumping
kinda-
right into
kinda-
it, Chris.
Just that unintended transition, right?
That's right.
Mhm.
You know, kind of like what Clay says. You know, Man of Steel, in a way, has some of the best, just heart wrenching, like just pull at your strings moments, because we celebrate Donner and what he did for bringing Superman to the screen,
Sure.
and you know that moment when, you know, Clark goes at,
You'll believe
you
it,
know,
man.
Jonathan's graves had all this power in the world, and I couldn't even save him. You know, that
Mhm.
moment always sticks out to me. But the moment that sticks out to me the most in Man of Steel is when young Clark, you know, Jonathan shows him the ship and says, you know, can I still be your son? And so you are my son. You know, can I still keep pretending to be your son? You are my son.
I well up
and-
every
right now.
fucking
Yeah.
time. I love that. I love that.
But the next part is even more saying, if you have to spend the rest of your life to find out what, you know, what your purpose, what your place in this world is, then that's your mission. You know, that so be it. You know, spend the rest of your life doing
Yes.
Mhm.
that.
Yes.
And that scene just encompasses, and there are moments there. It's just, that is my, like, I will rewatch that scene over and over and over again. And it, like you said, it just being a father, being anything like that, and my kids being adopted. I always read one day they'll ever have that conversation. You know, just because, you know, they don't need to pretend, they are. You know,
Yeah.
No, they're
Well, that moment you're talking about right there is actually perfect, because I know Nathan absolutely loves that one particular line, that "You are my son"
God.
moment. We talked about it before, and I know when I used that for an intro one time, I made sure I put that line in there.
Yeah.
Thing they can do to make Nathan cry, I'll do it.
And I just that scene, it's just so well acted between the young Clark and Kevin Costner. And it's just, I don't know, man. And maybe it's seeing what's got me is it got me before I was a father. You know what I mean? It was like, that was always my favorite scene before I was a father. And then when my son was born, like, like, you know what I mean? It exploded. And while we're talking about kids, my wife and I just found out today the second one's a girl. So
Hey, there you go.
yeah, we just found out today.
Congrats.
So
you're gonna buy a lot of lime and a shovel and a shotgun, right? Because any boy that comes down to the door, right?
Sure. Well, I mean, I got my son working out. He's already lifting weights, and we're gonna go to the store and we're gonna buy her first vacuum. So, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Now you get to see how I live.
I'm gonna chase one little squirrel. Whenever I was a kid, just a little one. Whenever I went on my first date, I went to go pick up my date, and her dad was in the military. I rang the doorbell and he answered it with a noose. He opened the door and he had a noose, and he just who
does this?
He put it up. He didn't put it around me. He kind of put it up, kind of like eyeing it,
trying to
sizing you up.
Yeah, sizing me up. And he goes, perfect fit. And that's the last thing I heard from him.
I have no words.
Terrified me.
I don't know how to.
No.
Not quite that psycho.
I mean,
it did the trick. Like, it
my wife's father is a pretty intimidating guy and stuff, but I don't even think I heard anything like that to go up her growing up. So that's pretty extreme.
Yeah,
it's pretty freaking extreme. I mean, I'm not gonna say I won't clean my guns when the kids come. It's got the AR out. I'm just cleaning it all up. Got all the magazines just around, just to show them off. Almost like Joker and Suicide Squad, where he's just laying around with just weapons and knives and shit in a circle. That's the kid's gonna walk in, and that's just gonna be me sitting there with my circle of weapons.
I'm just gonna lay back
Lord
and
help
start
the ones
laughing.
that try to date my children.
See, I like the Bad Boys 2 point of view, saying
That's where I'm going
at
with it.
the 11 o'clock you better be here at 10:59 because at 10:59 I am hunting your butt down.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the best one.
Oh,
Right
God,
there.
that's a great movie,
Hey,
man.
but,
I love those movies.
Yeah,
Going back to the Superman trailer.
wrap it around.
Oh yeah, sorry. I derailed us. I derailed.
The fact that we're probably and most likely going to see more Jonathan footage is going to wreck me.
Yes.
Those moments really we find out who
Russell
Clark
Crowe.
is as a person and as a hero when it comes to Jonathan.
Mhm.
We hear a little bit of Jor-El. I
Mhm.
don't think we will see Russell Crowe in this
I
movie.
want to.
I want
see
to,
just
but
a,
I don't think we will.
just a smidge, a small cameo.
But
I
like,
think we
even,
might hear
like,
voiceovers if any.
Yeah, I
So
think
I'll
we'll
take
get
that.
voiceover.
I'll take it.
But I don't think we will actually see him like we will probably see Jonathan Kent.
Yeah, you know what would be cool, and I don't know how they would do it, how they'd sneak it in if you find another key or whatever. But I'd like to hear Lara, like maybe he talk to his mom or see his mom or like a picture. You know what I mean? Like his real mom, his Kryptonian mom. Because as far as I know, he doesn't even know.
He's never
what she
even
looks
seen her.
like. It's seen her,
Never
nothing.
seen Lara.
Wouldn't that be cool? Like I don't know how they would do it if he had, like I said, some kind of other
Well, you know what?
key,
Maybe
something in there, or something,
You know, just like how
or the archives or something.
Yeah, the archives, how the intro of the Zack Snyder Justice League would have been like. They did the history lesson of the Kryptonians that way, and I think it showed
You're
his
right.
mother. I think
Yes, it did. No, you're right. You're right. I remember it now.
so
You're
he
right.
technically has some sort of visual reference to her.
If I've got to choose, I will go with Jonathan Kent overall. I don't know, just because he's so influential in this, you know, as a dad. So like, I'll definitely take that. But I like I said, I'm just ready for any of it, man. I'm so pumped for this. I love all these characters. I love this universe. We've been fighting for so long, and it's about to come true, guys. Like we're about to get our victory lap.
Oh yeah. I'm sitting here watching this Superman one just over and over on a reel as we're
Whatever, share it with us.
I'm about to, but it's
don't
so
be
funny
greedy now.
because
Don't be greedy.
when the Zack Snyder Justice League, the footage and stuff first started dropping, like I'm talking months ago, and it still wasn't even confirmed yet. I was making just Zack Snyder Justice League trailers, homemade trailers. And I'm looking at this footage right now. And the opening scene, as a matter of fact, let me share it. This opening scene right here is a scene that I used, but it wasn't that finished. There weren't all these suits. Like I'm sitting here looking at it. It was so different than it is with this product right now, the scene that I got.
So it was a deleted scene, was it not?
Yes.
Yes.
So,
when you get to see all those suits, pause it though. Just for a second on there, because like I said, we get to call all of it out. Like you can see all of it.
I did share with the group what you shared with me.
The equal opportunity armor, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
I think if this is the ship of the person who was, if this is the scout ship from Man of Steel, then we can assume then that was the ceremonial garb of what could be Kara.
Yeah, because we have it. Pause it right here. So
yeah,
you've got the armor
Mm-hmm.
in front. You've got obviously the red and blue in the back. That's supposed to be a spacesuit.
Yes,
the very back.
That's
the
very, very back with the four lights.
Very back with like the four.
That's the one you see.
That's what the scouts
Man of Steel. Yeah, when they got out of the Phantom Zone, when they found the World Engine, it shows them walking up on the old Kryptonian outposts that are dead, and they're wearing like I said, the flashlight. The astronaut suit. You can see the lights lit up.
Okay,
Greg, the closest thing that you would know this from is kind of an homage to the Superman animated series, the lead suit and the spacesuit.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the lead suit was gray, but the spacesuit was white.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of looked like this. And if you just replace the red S with four lights, that boom, that's the suit.
And then in the back, that is a female Kryptonian. So you can see the I know people don't like you can see the cups in the boob armor. Sorry, if women have breasts, they need to breathe. Sorry, they're gonna. If they're
Yeah.
wearing
Whoa,
armor,
whoa,
they're
whoa!
gonna
That's
have- they're
breaking
gonna
news,
have
man.
boob
Go
armor.
into that. What are you
Sorry.
talking about here?
I'm just saying. I know people freak out nowadays about that, but I'm sorry. I'm sure every woman really appreciates that, but that's neither here nor there. But I just like that.
Now,
is
what do
the
you call
female
these
version.
again? What do you call these things?
Stop it.
But yeah, it's just so funny because this was a scene that I used, and it wasn't nearly this finished. None of these suits were here. The only suit that was here was the
I saw this scene and finished.
but it was black
Kidding.
whenever I was using it. So it was pretty cool. All right, here we go. Let's keep going. It is beautiful. Like, I cannot wait to see this damn movie. Oh my gosh. Used this scene right here. It wasn't nearly this finished.
So you had
The
conversations
rebirth.
with Zach, basically, right?
Exactly. Yeah. He didn't give me the
You
full
helped,
stuff. I
you,
can't
you
believe
helped
it.
him out just a bit.
Yeah. Well, hey man, touch this up just a little bit.
Nobody does a cape like Zack Snyder. I swear to God, nobody.
Yeah, his cape game is
And,
strong.
and what I always remind people about when they say, "Oh, I don't know about Zach," I said, "You know where this man came from? He directed commercials.
Mhm.
He directed commercials,
Mm-hmm.
and look where he's gotten to on that one, like his calling card right there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You know,
start somewhere.
like you
and
said, everyone's got to start somewhere.
the vodka stream kind of touched on it on times where they were talking about it, is the fact that like Zach does all of these on his own. He doesn't have a team that does it. I will tell you this: David Ayer should freaking hire Zach next time whenever it comes to pulling out a trailer for his movies. But
that was not in his hands, but I
mean,
get what
it
you're saying.
wasn't.
I
It
get what you're
wasn't.
saying. That
But,
was
you
taken
know-
directly out of his hands and given to a trailer house. So
Yeah.
whatever. You know. Hashtag release the air cut because that's the next one, baby.
Yes.
Mhm.
There you go. Well,
I hope
I'm
so.
not gonna lie. I'm gonna be more behind the Zack Snyder Justice League 2 than I am the haircut, but I'm definitely behind the haircut.
But Greg, this one's already done. It's done with the score. It's been done in the vault. The score, his original cut, everything, and then they was like, give us
I'd
the
still
trailer
rather
company, let
see
them do it.
Zack Snyder Justice League 2 before I ever see the
Brother,
haircut.
I'll take.
Sorry,
Yes,
Clay.
yes,
I didn't mean to cut you off.
guess. Sorry.
Go ahead, Clay. Didn't mean to cut you off, man.
I was just gonna say that these scenes, and there was multiple of these throughout the day. If anybody saw like there was other footage and other things that we saw from the Zack Snyder's Justice League. So we see a moment and another like I guess trailer or teaser trailer or whatnot. Superman freaking Spartan kick the absolute hell out of Steppenwolf. If anybody saw that one,
Yeah. I want that. I want that in the
This
Todd
is
McFarlane
Sparta.
action figure. I
Well,
want that
so
Spartan kick going on. in
it
the action
happened
figure.
so quickly. It happened so quickly. I thought it was a punch, and then somebody slowed it down, and then I saw it was a kick. So it looks absolutely amazing. And the one scene that everybody loved in Justice League, whenever it came to Superman, is actually a Zach filmed scene, and it looks like it's going to be in this movie when he
Which one?
opens up his
Yeah.
shirt and coat to reveal the S. He doesn't reveal the S here, but I think it's more so to reveal the fact that he's still not wearing the red and blue suit. He's still going to be wearing the black and silver, even when all of this is over.
I did like in that the line that I think I'm waiting to see what scene this line is going to be uttered. It said, "Get down." You know,
Yeah,
and that's
a lot of people for some reason thought that somebody was yelling Shazam.
yeah. For
Did you
some,
see that?
I didn't. I caught that. I was like, huh? It's pretty obvious, at least to my ears. It's saying screaming, "Get down."
Spoiler, guys, I've got the inside scoop. That's actually whenever they have a dance off to save the rec center, that's him actually just saying, "Everybody get down." You know?
Or no, actually, Clay, it's actually Shazam. That's what they're saying, Shazam.
Okay.
I'm interested. I'm interested to see the scene where we hear that Martian Manhunter voiceover we heard in the trailer.
Give it to me.
Like, I don't know if it's going to be in the movie, a stinger at the end. What's going on?
Man, I don't know if it's a spoiler or not, but I saw the actual. There was a somewhere they got Joker's. They got his costume for
it was supposed
the
to be
Snyder
the
cut.
exhibit. The Dallas exhibit they got.
Yeah, the exhibit. I was gonna say somebody took a picture of that, and I saw the full thing, and I just lit up ear to ear, even seeing more of that. Like, oh yeah.
I can't look at anything Zack Snyder pictures, trailers without smiling. I
Yeah.
just can't do it. You know,
Greg is in his happy place.
I am.
Yes.
I am. So,
Less than 2 weeks.
less than 2 weeks. I think next week on this show, we're probably going to, because there's no more movies to review, kind of a gap in coverage. We're probably going to review Batman versus Superman. Just talk about it at least before Zack Snyder's Justice League. So we
5 minutes. All we need is 5 minutes.
Let's talk.
It's 5 minutes.
We can talk about both movies. Let's just talk about the 2 Superman movies leading up to it. You know how they're puzzle pieces. Man of Steel, BVS are literally puzzle pieces.
I'm fine with that.
They fit together perfectly.
Yeah.
How about
next
this? I
week
got a good idea. How about we listen to Zack Snyder's commentary for both of them, and they give a commentary on the commentary?
Yes.
Ooh,
7
I
hour,
like
7 hour
that
show
idea.
coming next week, guys. Be here 7 hours.
commentary on the commentary.
7 hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, I am going to. The way I'm planning on doing it is I have the day off. Zack Snyder Justice League comes out. I'm planning on lining up so I can watch Man of Steel and BVS Ultimate Edition, and right into Zack Snyder Justice League. So it's like watching one 9.5 hour movie. That's
You don't even have to buy a ticket for it. Like going to those AMC theaters. You know, they do that. Now you're just doing that at your house.
Exactly. So
And you can hit
that's
pause.
the goal. Yep. So I don't know.
Well, but if we're done talking about this before we move on to WandaVision, I want to talk about just a couple the DC stuff you guys talked about. Blue Beetle movie. Freaking love that it's going to be Jaime Reyes coming, because I'm a fan, like Travis said, of Young Justice, and they really made me love that character. And from the animated universe we had, and I know Clay and I were talking that like I said, in Infinity War, Iron Man is literally doing the shit that Blue Beetle does. Like he's wearing like the same kind of weapons, everything that his suit does. So like it's gonna be good. I'm ready for that. New take on Superman. I'm hoping they put this in its own little separate universe too, because you know they're building out this multiverse or whatever they're supposed to be doing. I hope they put it over there in their own little universe. You know what I mean? Okay, you can have this universe that like kind of like the Batman's got its own little universe going on, and this, you know, the Snyder thing in his little universe, and Nolan's got his. Like I just hope it's another little built out. Go do your thing over there. God, what was the thing? Oh, that Zack Snyder Vanity Fair article, where they talked, where you guys were talking about that Vanity Fair article. Man, how good was that? And like just talking about getting some extra detail in there, and just talking about his daughter and kind of like what this means is like kind of coming full circle and shit. Like, man, that was just really touching. And like it was just, I think it was a really, really well done article. Like it was very fair. It looked at everything on there. It was, you know what I mean? It was a really good article, and just shined a light to a lot of the general audience who, you know, doesn't follow the shit like we do, who doesn't know every nuance and every detail, and who don't know that what happened behind the scenes, whether it be with his daughter or the studio just coming in, you know what I mean? And then like, oh God, I really want to know who the studio executive was that was like, we all knew that, you know, 2017 movie was going to be shit. Like, I got my theories like everybody else, you know, like who I want it to be. Like, I really want it to be Diane Nelson that said that. Like, we knew it was shit. They messed up. You know what I mean? Like, I just really wanted to know who that was, because man, that's just that, you know, that's awesome. They're fine. Like the gloves seem like they're coming off, you know what I mean? And Zach's doing this shit all, like he's still doing it nice, professional, like he always does, but it's like the gloves are coming off finally, where it's like, all right, guys, you know, like let's get real. You guys want to peek behind the curtain? Let's really get a peek behind the curtain. And I just think it's awesome. I'm more excited for DC content than I have been in a while. It's not everything, you know. I know it's basically because of Snyder's Justice League, and we've gotten enough stuff now to where, or enough things supposedly coming on the pipeline, that like I can just pick and choose. If something doesn't sound appealing to me, or I don't necessarily care for the characteristics of a person who's working on a project, or some of their personal things, like I don't, like there's so much out there. I'm like, but whatever, I don't care. Go have it. I don't need that. I don't have to. It doesn't. You know what I mean? I'm just so glad we're at this time where there's just we get to have everything. It's like everything. You want a little of this, want a little of that. You can have all of it if you want, or you can just have a little portion here, a little portion there, a little. I'm just like, I'm really. It just feels good to be coming out and being excited in 2021 for all this, comic book stuff. Because 2020 was so down on everything, not just that, but just content and everything. It's nice that we're steamrolling ahead. We got, Zack Snyder Justice League coming, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like I know there's just a plethora of stuff coming. I'm excited. Young Justice will be coming back soon. Like I'm ready, guys. It's going to be a good year. I'm excited for all the stuff to come. And it's probably. Does anybody know anything about Young Justice season 4? By the way, because I am way out of the loop. But that shit's got to be coming soon.
I know that they did an announcement for Fandom, but they haven't said anything since then. So they gave the title of what the next season will be, but that's it.
Yeah, what is the title?
I can look it up while people are talking.
Well, Nathan, it's kind of changed the way I want to view movies, and just me watching animation has kind of done that, because I know it used to be in a movie where I wanted to have one universe and I wanted everything set, and I'm still cool with that in a different type of, in different scenarios. But I never thought that I would like it where you could have all these different kinds, different variations, and it all makes sense. But getting more into animated stuff, like you and Travis have gotten me into it in the last couple of years, that's all that is. I mean, it's not all that is. There's sometimes a through storyline, but there's a lot of stuff that's totally on the side. There's a different take on this character, or 2 or 3 movies. It's a different artist, doesn't have anything to do with this universe. And it's cool to have all that. And looking at it like that, it's like, well, okay, I can kind of see that in the movies and think I'd enjoy it, because I enjoy it in the animated universe. And there's a ton of animated movies that I would love to see live action, that I think these animated movies are better than a lot of live action movies I see. So, but I love the fact that it's animated. I think you get a little more out of it sometimes that way. But watching animated movies has kind of changed the way I view movies. And honestly, maybe I'm not knocking MCU or Marvel, because I love what they've done, but I think the entire Infinity cycle is kind of exhausting. So I feel like I'm not wanting to have something where I have to follow everything for one storyline, even though
Travis Snail just punched his phone right now.
Even though when it comes out, I still will. I still will.
You're right.
It's just one of those things that when I first think about it, I'm like, but when it comes out, I'll watch it and I'll enjoy it. And like I said, I'm not saying they're doing a bad job of it or it's a bad idea. It's just the Infinity Saga was exhausting, man. It not in a bad way. It's a lot to keep up with. I was talking to my friends the other day on the C3 Panthers podcast, talking about 23 movies, and he was like, "What's 23 movies?"
Who said that?
Tony. He was like, "What's 23 movies?" Like, yeah, I'm telling you. So, like I said, not knocking it. I loved him. It's just that I've had that now for the last 10 years. Now let's have something a little different, and I'm ready for that in the universe. And I'm still going to follow along with, a through storyline like they do in Marvel. But they've slowed down movie production in Marvel. I mean, well, obviously everybody has COVID and everything, but Phase 4, they're not pumping out the movies like they were before.
I think.
Whoa, hold on that one.
Yeah.
We've got about 3 or 4 of them that are already in the can,
in the pipeline.
Okay, I mean, they're coming soon. Yeah, it's just been a while since I've seen a Marvel movie.
Like, I think once we hit the threshold of 2022, it's game over. Like we're gonna be going back in stride all over again. But as far as what you were saying, Nathan, about like how DC kind of has anything and everything right now, I always thought like the best route DC could take is exactly what the comic books do, and what they are attempting to do still. They had it, but for some reason they think they need to change things, and it gets kind of wonky. But the best thing you can do is have a Batman universe and a Superman universe and a Flash universe, and have all these trilogies and whatever series and franchises of films, and let them do their own thing. If they want to cross over, if they want to use a character from another franchise, let them. Just make sure that everything is coordinated correctly, and then the only time they need to really concretely connect is in a Justice League movie. It doesn't have to connect from one movie to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other to make it complicated. They just need to have their own trilogies, have fun with those characters, and then they team up every so often and they have fun. But the Young Justice season 4 Phantoms is coming out August 24th of 2021.
Shit, I didn't even have a newborn right around then. Wait, did this year you said like coming up?
This year.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a newborn right around August. Sweet, that'll be.
Leave,
That'd be nice. What? What are you talking about? The only paternity leave I get is when I take a vacation when the kid's born, so I get the first week at home, and then I gotta get slub my ass back to work because nobody gives a shit. I get in here and get this shit going.
Oh man, dang it! I had something I want to say, Nathan.
Sorry, I know I wrecked you. Sorry.
I'll remember it.
Oh, Greg, to your point about the animated stuff, like there's like we watched that little animated universe that they did, they got all this started with Flashpoint Paradox and into Dark Side War. But you also have Batman, Superman, Apocalypse, which ties into Batman and Superman, Public Enemies. Like there's pieces that could say that they're kind of like a pseudo sequel to each other, like they go together. And then you got the God, what is it like? Batman 66, they did the 2 animated who are nothing like the other stuff. You've got Batman Brave and the Bold movies. You've got Mask of the Phantasm. You know what I mean? All these different universes of stuff. And it's all great. And like, you know what I mean? It's just, like I said, I think we're going to get to that point, like Clay was even saying, like, it just like, hey, you want to have this Superman over here doing, like, let's just say, people I know, that the black Superman come and people were like, oh, Henry Cavill's out. He's gone. Well, why? If we're doing all this stuff, why can't, if they want to, or they choose to have Cavill continue, he can be over here. And then you can have black Superman over here. And you can still have Superman and Lois on TV. And we can have Superman on Young Justice. And you can just have, why can't we have it all? You know what I mean? If it's a great idea or a great take and the money's there, just have it all and choose whichever one you want, or choose them all. Be a gluttonous pig, have all of them. Because I get it. I like to be gluttonous too. Like just take your pick.
With 3 sets of franchises that you have, that being CW, HBO Max, and then the films, you literally have the reign to do whatever the hell you want.
Right.
Yes.
Well, and Clay, the version you were talking about too, where you take a Superman, like say you have a Superman universe, a Batman universe, a Flash universe, and they have their 3 movies, and you're talking about the possibility of them possibly crossing over one day for like a team up movie. What if you had it where a situation which I think they're going with, where you have a Batman universe, and in this Batman universe you have a Superman, but it's this Superman, and then you have a Superman universe that may have a Batman in it, but it's not this Batman type deal, where you have these characters in these individual universes where it's just totally separate universes, and they never actually have to cross over. And then you could even have a Justice League universe of completely.
Like you're saying, like Matt Reeves could bring in, like if he wanted to do an Aquaman for whatever reason, not saying he would, but if he in his Batman, he could do a whole new version of Aquaman to bring in for whatever storyline, and just be like, oh, this is my Aquaman,
right?
Just like his Commissioner Gordon. And all, I would actually kind of prefer that if their story calls for another character, or if he wanted to do a Black Canary or even a Harley Quinn, it wouldn't be Margot Robbie. It'd be, you know what I mean? Like his own. It's like, I want this over here. I'm in favor of that right now. And I never thought I would say that, but I guess after kind of the Infinity Saga being over, like Greg said, I watched that. Now I don't feel so like I've got to watch it. I feel like I've had my release. I'm kind of smoking my cigarette now, just kind of playing on my phone. You know what I'm saying? As Wandavision and this other stuff comes on, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like we're just finally to that point. You guys know what I'm saying. Come on.
I'm picking up what you're laying down, buddy.
Right.
I got you. Sarah, what you think? Any thoughts?
I'm kind of in agreement with you guys. I mean, I can kind of take an example, like I said, of the Star Trek world. I mean, it's like you don't necessarily have to have this one timeline. You can have different timelines. So for you guys saying, if you have this one universe, and why not? I mean, there's nothing set in stone that says it has to be one Batman, one Superman, one Wonder Woman, one anything. I mean, there's tons of different versions. So why not? I mean, it's, everybody do stop being such a purist. I mean, it's fine. You, like I said, you can have your own Batman, you can pick whichever one you want. I mean, have it, you pick your Superman, and I have no problem with that, because any content is good. I mean, whatever you have available to you, it's, and, certain ones, just like Man of Steel. I mean, that's
you
the
seen Jonah Hex? I don't know if anything's good. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Sorry.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's like, in our house, we have certain, it's just like, I grew up with Batman 89, for the longest time, that was my Batman, and then, you have all these other, versions, and you had Bale and now I have Affleck. Oh, love him. So, I mean, nothing's right, nothing's wrong. I mean, just take it for what it is. Have fun with it. I mean, I think that's what a lot of people don't do. Just have fun. Just take the, whether it's animated, whether it's comics, whether it's films, whether TV, whatever it is, just have fun with it. Take it for what it is. Enjoy the content, because the worst thing is we could not have any at all.
Yeah. Like let's take another franchise that has been able to flourish and everything. We talked about it a little bit last week, but Star Trek has had multiple franchises now in different forms, such as movies, TV shows, and animation. And
timelines
it's thriving with separate timelines.
I mean, you even have the books. I mean, you even have books you can go off with. So
yeah, why can't DC do the same? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
I think we're all in agreement. Give me more.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what we're all saying. Give me as much as you can possibly give me.
If we're still on, as I say, if we're still on DC talk though, I just like to bring up I'm reading Dark Side War for the first time, and can I say people shit on the New 52, but fucking bravo. God damn, that is an excellent book. Excellent book. It is chef's kiss. And then, I hate to say that to the writer, but whatever. Good work's good work. So I just want, if anybody hasn't read that, or they just shit all over the New 52, I would highly encourage that, because I got the essential edition that puts them both together, you know what I mean? So it's just the Dark Side War in there. Just fantastic. I highly recommend it. Just fantastic.
Chris perked up when you said that. He was like, "Oh yeah, oh yeah."
I want to make one. I want to make one comment. I want to make one comment towards that, Nathan. You were saying, regarding the writer and everything else, and whatever anybody decides to do, whether people who are listening to this podcast or whatnot, as far as wanting to not read any of the writer's content or anything else, because there's been an argument recently about whether people can like Simon Baz, who is a character created by the writer of Dark Side War, Jeff Johns. And you can definitely like those characters, because those characters are more than the writers. Those characters have been written by other writers. And so if you decide to not read any of
Jessica Cruz is a great addition.
Exactly. Jessica Cruz is an amazing Green Lantern, and I absolutely love her. But for me, I stepped back from reading. I think I was reading his Green Lantern run. I think it was Green Lantern Rebirth, moving forward, towards Darkest Night. I mean, not Darkest Night. Blackest Night. Sorry, Blackest Night, and then Brightest Day, and all that stuff. I stepped back, but then I had a conversation with some people saying hey, if you like those stories, that's fine. Technically you already purchased those books, so the money was already spent. But as far as if you're not wanting to support any of his future content, that's entirely different.
You're also not supporting the artist, the penciler, the color, you know what I mean? The colors. There's a lot of other people that go into that as well. Exactly. And I'm going to use the analogy that Chick-fil-A, I don't necessarily agree with her stance on, gay, gay marriage, all that kind of stuff, but I can separate my chicken and my politics. I can still enjoy a delicious, juicy chicken sandwich and totally disagree with their, their stance on other shit. I can separate my politics and my chicken. And just like with the books, and like I said, because as Chris can well tell you, with all the research he does on comic book arts, you're not just hurting the writer. There's a lot of people that are involved that team up with getting comic book art together, you know what I mean, to do that.
Well, there are people that can and people that can't, and for those that can, that's their point of view. For those that say I'm done with it, never going to do it again, never going to support it, that is very valid as well. And and I don't, none of you are necessarily saying that either, but to even add to the whole idea of, again, the purpose of these characters, these stories, things like that, so many different creators, writers have put their own spin on it. Sometimes the idea is you put your own spin on it, then just put the toys back where they belong so the next person can have a shot. You don't like Zack Snyder's Justice League, guess what? You have 20 other thousand versions of the Justice League that you can go to and be your Justice League. You don't have to put not my Justice League. It's just, you don't have to go that far. It's just this is my preference.
Even going as far as with Whedon, especially with the more stuff that's coming out now, if Buffy and Angel was your shit, you know what I mean? If that is still your bread and butter, that is your show, you can still like that, even though he was the creator. You know what I mean? You can still appreciate the work, or like the astonishing X-Men run that people brave about and stuff, like, or Firefly or something. Like, you can still like the content and appreciate the actors and the work that went into it without you. That doesn't mean you respect, the jack off in charge of it, or you know what I'm saying. Like, there can be a separation. Now it's a little harder to watch the Cosby Show for me, because that fucking monster's front and center in there. But you know what I mean. Like, when it comes to this other stuff, like you can I anyway can separate. There's a disconnect there. You know what I mean. I can compartment. I can still hate Whedon or whatever and appreciate the stuff that I always did in the work that came before or whatever, because it wasn't just them. There were other people involved, and there was collaborations, and you know what I mean, like, especially with Whedon, like in the shows like Buffy, you got Sarah Michelle Gellar and the entire cast that that went into it in the writers' room. And you know what I mean, there's just, like I said, there's a lot of I like Chris said, I get it if somebody's like, nope, draw a line in the sand, like I wash my hands of it, boom boom. But at the same time, if there's people out there that still love that stuff, don't feel bad. You can separate that stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
it just depends on who you are. Like I said, some people can, some people can't. Everyone's got their reasons, and they're all right.
Right. And I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, like, for the people, because I know it's out there, the people that are like feeling bad, who don't want to say like, oh, well, now I can't say I like this stuff, whatever. It's fine. Like what you like, and you can separate. But then, like Chris said, if you don't, there's no wrong answer here. I'm just saying, I've already had that book. I started reading it. It's a fucking phenomenal book. I'm sorry. It really is. It's one of the brightest spots in the New 52. Everybody says it's a great story. I'm sorry. I can separate that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. All right, let's wrap up the DC stuff and let's talk some WandaVision here in a minute. But the last
Chris, are you
note
staying?
Yeah, I'll stay. I'll jump in. I'll jump in at certain points.
Okay.
Like I said, I still haven't done my research as much. I've done a little research for Tuesday night, but I haven't done it all yet. So.
Well, last note I want to put on the conversation we just had. Fuck Chick-fil-A, and it has nothing to do with what you were talking about there, Nathan.
You like Popeyes?
Yeah, I do like Popeyes better. The food's not that damn good. I'm not waiting damn 20 minutes in line. I'm not paying $45 for fast food. Sorry, fuck Chick-fil-A.
Unless your daughters ask, right?
Yes,
unless your daughters ask.
Yeah, exactly.
So here's the thing. It got my analogy, okay? It got my.
You spend $45 at Chick-fil-A?
No, listen. So here's the deal, and there's a story about this.
Oh, here we go.
Episode, okay? The menu is down, and there's a line like 2 times around, and my daughters are begging me to get Chick-fil-A on the way home. So I go, okay, cool, I can go to Chick-fil-A. I don't see the menu, and I asked the guy, I'm like, hey, I just want like the orders of like the 10 chicken nuggets. He's like, oh, you want the chicken minis? I don't know what those are. I was like, yeah, let me get 4 orders of those, 4 combos of those. Well, chicken minis are like $15.99 for a combo. Well, that particular day, I spent like $58, like at Chick-fil-A. Got a shit ton of food.
So user error by Greg.
No, not by me. The guy should have told me. The guy should have been like, "Hey, those are like $12.99 a pack, right? Like if you're looking for a pack of chicken minis, it's 12 or 10 little biscuits."
Greg,
I got 2 of those.
The guy is making like fucking $8.50 an hour. He doesn't
Chick-fil-A.
give a shit. He's just trying to get you through. There are 5,000 other people coming in just that hour. Get the fuck out of my line.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Greg.
All right. Well, real quick. So that's the story. Let's take a real quick
First
break.
world
We'll come back and
problems.
Talk WandaVision. That's right.
Absolutely, Chris.
That's right. All right. So we'll be right back. All right. And we're back. One last thing to talk about tonight. WandaVision finale.
Mhm.
Show wrap.
Literally, the episode called The Finale.
The finale. Exactly. Very fitting. So,
I'm sad.
Sarah, let's get some thoughts from you.
I want to hear Sarah
this.
first. I'm going to kind of step back and reserve myself for a minute because
Okay, I'm
I wanna
afraid
hear
to
the
say anything
room.
now because y'all got me like
No.
on.
No. I just want to hear the room. Go ahead. And Sarah, I feel like we kind of, I want to hear what you got to say. Come on.
I mean, I didn't really. I mean, it's. I kind of went into it, and I didn't really want to expect anything. I didn't want to have any preconceived notions. I will say, visually, it was very stunning. I liked the visuals. There's a lot of purples, a lot of reds, a lot of. There was like the one part. I mean, this one to me was a little bit more emotional. I don't know, especially like with the kids, because they're just like, what's about to happen to these kids? What's about to happen? Because when you first leave them, they're like leashed up and you're just thinking, oh my God, what's going on? But I don't know. It's just, it was just an emotional episode. I mean, I just thought it was. I don't know. That's kind of it. I mean, I'm still kind of absorbing it because I know we'll
Yeah.
probably see it again this weekend because Gage hasn't seen episode 8 and he definitely hasn't seen this one.
Mhm.
So I think this one I need to rewatch it again just so it just kind of sinks in a little bit more. I don't know. I kind of want to hear what you guys had to say because, like I said, it's
Okay.
just kind of. I had some thoughts about it that I'm like,
Yeah,
why didn't this
yeah.
happen?
Hey.
But I'll just keep on. I'll just add
Clay's got
my
his hand up.
2 cents.
I hear you.
So I don't want this to happen again. Greg, have you seen both
I did.
in credit
I
scenes?
watched both. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just
Learned your
making sure.
lesson.
He's got his
Just
phone. He
making
can do
sure.
that.
Mhm.
In fact, I actually watched the episode twice and both the end credit scenes twice. So,
Very nice.
but Clay, give me some thoughts. What did you think
Overachiever.
about it overall?
I really enjoyed it. We'll talk about the end credit scenes soon, but I will say that this show, WandaVision, aimed to do 2 things. One, it aimed to bring Scarlet Witch into the MCU. We now know that she is Scarlet Witch. So first check mark done. Second
Yeah.
one is to be the bridge to Multiverse of Madness, and it's done that, and we'll talk about that more when it comes to the end credit scene. So it checked all the
You'll have to
boxes.
enlighten me.
Yeah, it checked all the boxes, and it did a phenomenal job at it. I had a lot of fun watching it, even though I was dead tired afterward. But yeah, visuals were nice. I love the aesthetic of still the way Scarlet Witch or Wanda was able to disperse of the hex, and how Vision and even the kids started to freaking disintegrate.
Mm.
Like this, just like Sarah said, this was an emotional story. And I recently watched a video today that showed how each episode was was part of the 5 steps of grief. So that was really, really
can see that.
well put together. I think the first 2 were denial, then anger, then what was the other ones?
Bargaining.
The last 2, and then the last one, of course, is acceptance. It all worked out really, really well.
I've come to bark.
There was some dialogue that it's just the MCU dialogue, almost not as it's almost or equal to what CW would do in their silly ways. The whole boner joke was a little eye rolling for me.
God, what? Like, really? Are we? Like, what? Was
Yeah.
this 1990? Is Bart Simpson out there saying what? Who came
It's
up with
Beavis and
that?
Butthead.
What the
That's
fuck?
exactly how I felt. And then there was a moment where the entire
And
family
I'm
was
saying
like,
this. I'm saying this. So fucking picture this, guys. I saw it and went, really? Come on, me of all people.
there was a moment with the entire family with their like superhero pose or whatever.
Yeah.
Felt very
Forced?
Incredibles enforced a little bit.
Mhm.
There was one point where Vision
Vision
had
got a
his hands,
superhero landing.
well, Vision had his hands like this, and I'm like, Vision, you don't have repulsors on your hands. What are you doing? Like, this is such a weird pose for you. What are you doing? But overall, I love the aesthetic. I told Travis and everybody on Geek First when we were doing the review last night, when Wanda had her new outfit, I had to turn on my fan.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you know what? Points to Marvel for actually going through with the headdress, because I never fucking thought they would. I thought it was gonna be the little.
I love the energy
yeah,
one day. I like the energy
That's what I thought
one.
they were gonna go with, and then it materialized, and I went, I will be damned. Look at them. I didn't
Look
think
good.
they were gonna do it.
They look good.
Yeah, it did.
All right, so I watched this twice, and
Go ahead,
Travis
Greg.
is already trolling me in the chat room, talking about.
Oh,
Greg
what's
told
that dick
everyone how
saying?
just, like- he says, tell everyone how it's just like Deathstroke's fight scene in the Titans, because I originally said they Titans. Hey, look, I was not impressed with this finale. I watched it during my lunch break, but it was kind of underwhelming for me. I was like, it seems like they built up for something that wasn't that exciting. I watched it a second time. I'm not saying my opinion has completely changed, but it did get a little bit better as the second time on the second viewing, which is why I recommend watching something more than once for a lot of people. Still think it was a little bit underwhelming. But I think that maybe I was expecting it to be more than what it was intended to be. You know, and I think, Clay, you talking about that at the beginning of it, what it was intended to be and what it filled. If that's what it did and that's what it intended to be, then maybe it's my fault and I was expecting more. But the ending just seemed a little anticlimactic to me. Like I said, it was a little better the second time around, but I was still a lot of time. I felt like they were trying to get me to want to cry, and Marvel can do that, and Marvel's done it a bunch of times, but it didn't happen here. It didn't happen here. Like I wasn't like I didn't feel that moment. Like I didn't feel that tear-jerker moment, like the tug at the heart. I was like, well, okay, you know.
Well, there was one moment that got me at the end when they're talking to the kids or whatnot. Vision walks out of the room first, and he says, "Good night, boys," or something like that. Mm-hmm. And you hear his voice crack, like you hear him choking up.
Yeah,
chaps. Good night, chaps. That's what he said. That's what got me. That's when it started. Like, oh man, this is where the hard emotion is going to hit. Mm-hmm. So I love the performances out of both Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany at the end for sure.
And you're absolutely right. That's where it should have started pulling me. And I'm not saying they performed bad. I just didn't feel it. You know, like I just didn't. And like I said, maybe I was expecting something different. But for me, it was a little underwhelming. It's not something I'm going to go back and watch. Like I'll go back and watch a lot of Marvel movies, a lot of stuff. I'm probably not going to go back and watch WandaVision. So, go ahead.
Overall, while I don't think I'm mostly in agreement with you. While I won't, I get what Travis is saying by like that Deathstroke, because come on, that was the most anticlimactic Deathstroke.
I was wrong about that.
From Titans.
Yeah,
but like Sarah said, visually they knocked it out of the park. This is like a 4.5 hour movie / character piece on Wanda. Visually, it looks stunning with like the red thunder clouds and the magic stuff going through and like the necromancing and all that stuff. It visually looked, great. I don't know if it's like, I don't know if it was because like I kind of knew that Wanda's it's everything's gonna go back. They're not gonna like just be like, oh, okay, Wanda, you can have this, with these townspeople and control them over here. Like I kind of knew it was gonna go back to normal. The fight, like I said, the fights were good, but it was like Greg. I want to say I was a little let down. I don't know if I was expecting more, what I was expecting, no. So we know this happened over 9, 10, 12, a week, it was 14 days. Not one goddamn Avenger showed up to see Wanda. What the are you? The Sorcerer Supreme, who knew the nanosecond Loki came to fucking Earth again. The nanosecond he came to Earth and put him in a fucking portal and dropped it through and brought Thor immediately to him and go, what are you doing with this guy? And he goes, it's my job to check. He just is blowing. Maybe he's in another reality, but
you do read comics, right, Nathan, right? You do read comics, right?
I do, but I'm just saying, like in this world that's so connected, they're just coming back from the snap. They're going to be on high alert. They're going to be on high alert, though. Everybody's going to be looking at everything. But his job is to detect magical
the problem. Stuff. There's too many things to look at. And,
his whole job is magic.
Carol said it best. There are a lot of other places that don't Dr. have Strange, you guys on it.
Our Doctor Strange is Earth. He don't give a shit about outer space.
But the thing is, he's looking after a lot of different things too. I'm not saying you're not onto something, but again, you've got one person.
You're right. Well, no, because we saw in Endgame, we saw a lot of shields come up there when Thanos was raining down fire because all them portals opened up. There are more sorcerers out there. Somebody's gonna go. Well,
you were just calling out the Sorcerer Supreme. So.
But I know. I'm just saying. There's more. But even him and Wong, like one of them's not gonna be like they don't have a little orb or like they get a twitch on their hand, like the back of their hand itches and goes, God damn it! Like I can't get rid of this. Means something's I don't know. I'm not saying it was bad. I don't know. And then like, I know we're not there yet, but like, what did this like I get the setup, but I guess I don't get the setup from the two end. Okay, Monica, sorry, like I'm jumping there. Monica, you're going to space. Cool. We kind of knew that was happening. You're gonna go see Carol. Like I don't know. I felt I don't know what I was expecting from the scroll reveal, and they're like, yeah, you're going up there or whatever, like. And then that end one, I'm so confused of like, what was that another?
I'll raise hand.
Was she in another universe, like watching another version of herself? Did she have just a little decoy thing going while she learned everything from the Darkhold? Like, you know what I'm saying? Did she just make a little astral projection of herself to clean the house while she was reading this shit? Like, I don't know. Like I said, was that her in the multiverse? Is that the cabin that the Hulk went to, or that Bruce Banner went to control the Hulk? Or is that the one that Daisy went to? Okay, go ahead, Clay. I'm just throwing shit.
Chris was first.
Sorry.
So yes, it's an astral projection at that point.
Okay.
We've seen Strange do that. We learned how to do that. She's learning from the Darkhold at that point. And someone's joining the chat.
Oh.
And the other thing that was shared in our Marvel chat with Brent and Travis Snell and I was the music is very interesting. That's playing the soundtrack at that point. It is a reverse. They basically slowed down Doctor Strange's theme and turned it into a more sinister theme at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So the Darkhold from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is, as I said, it's the demonic playbook, basically. It's like she is learning more and more of the dark arts. Agatha directly called out in the episode, the Scarlet Witch is more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so we are getting to a point where, again, the Darkhold is not necessarily something that is not going to be for the faint of heart. She is learning more dark arts. She is trying to bring back her kids. If we've seen the comics, and I said this in Marvel Alliance, I'm going to say it again. Read James Robinson's 15-issue run entitled Scarlet Witch. After watching this show, it'll be very, very interesting to see a lot of the stuff that they pull, but also you learn a lot more about Wanda and her trauma that she's dealt with. That's what I've enjoyed about this show, is that we have not seen an MCU show deal with the one person in this universe that has probably lost the most and not gained anything back.
Yeah. No, and I know that Travis had said something about it, and I know that Brent had something about it on Twitter. Like, the Avengers aren't necessarily friends. Like, we've seen the lack of reaching out for Wanda. The only one that really had any connection was Clint at the very end of Endgame. Like, that was the only thing that we saw. But in regards of the end credit scene, we saw that Agatha wasn't afraid of Wanda's ability to have the Darkhold. She was scared of the Scarlet Witch. Mm-hmm. That's what she was scared of. And so when she manifested that all together in combination with the Darkhold, we see how strong she's able to become from just the instance of her from the very beginning of the season to the end of the season, to however time has passed between the leaving of Westview to her in the same cabin as freaking Edward Norton. But seeing the astral projection shows the progression of her strength. I think that is a big tell of like, okay, she was at one point saying, I'm not a witch, I don't do spells, this is, not who I am, to immediately embracing it and becoming a badass, basically.
But when they astral project, can't Strange, like, his body just flops on the ground and then he astral projects? Like, hers can still stand up and walk?
No.
Like, what's happening?
Remember, Strange wasn't at the beginning. He flopped back because he didn't have to control the power.
Yeah, but later on he was able to control his own body while also controlling. Well, technically it was more so he was unconscious because of his injury while he was doing all that stuff. But at the very end, when you hear the kids, technically what she did to Westview, she was altering reality. They said that like in episode 4, episode 5, she was altering reality. Well, what is also like reality bending? It's the multiverse. So she was not looking for any type of like evil thing. She is genuinely trying to find her children, but because she's using the Darkhold to get her children, it's gonna, end up being a hell of a lot worse than it could have been if she found other means to do it. So I think this very ending is the bridge from WandaVision to the Multiverse of Madness, because
Spider-Man.
she's going to go through universes and possibly multiverses, other Earths, to try to find her kids.
And remember what Agatha said. You have no
Was Agatha
idea
all along?
what you have unleashed.
Oh, yes.
So again, we have not seen the full after effects of this yet.
Right.
That is just, again, they'll drop these hints, and I agree with you. That costume, that update on that costume, amazing.
Beautiful.
This is a hard lean that we are not afraid to take that costume that in many ways, you go to the pure original Scarlet Witch costume, it's ridiculous. But gosh darn, you update it in
I
this
think you
sense.
mean sexy. Okay.
I'm talking about the original at that point. The original. Headdress and all. That was amazing. Amazingly well done.
The
T-Bone.
similarities that it has with Magneto's in Days of Future Past is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
T-Bone, you joined us late in the chat room trolling me.
The same
What's up,
thing like
buddy?
I said every time.
I see
He
you-
just
I
sits
see you
there and
shaking your
watches
head.
until
You
he
didn't
hears
say
something.
arrow.
I see you
You
shaking
forgot
your
to say arrow.
head. I see you. Let it
No.
out, man. But go
Let's
ahead.
go.
Attack
Let's
me
go.
first, man, and
I
then get
know.
everybody else.
I really want to get into the big point because I see Nathan getting attacked. Not attacked, but getting counterpoint at 2-1. So I wanted to jump in and tag and
All right.
agree with him. But first, Greg, you
Oh.
actually argued with me that this is the exact thing he sent me. You guys. Oh my God, the Agatha Wanda fight was just as long as the Deathstroke fight in Titans.
Mhm.
And spent 10 minutes trying to argue with me why it was without realizing that you said it was as long. So there was no way, because this fight scene went for a half hour. You might not like it, but it kind of dragged out for a half hour of the episode. So I was in fits laughing. Now, you
Not
could
quite
say
the
it's
full story. And
done
I,
as
and I
well.
did say that I could have been wrong, and then I had to go back and check. I've left that part out,
Don't
but,
have
but I got
Don't
you.
have my phone. Don't have my phone.
I know.
But also, Clay and I think Chris was saying, the Avengers shouldn't show up and all that too. I think you belong in Brent's group of running me around for an hour trying to make the excuses. This is the biggest magical event that has ever happened in the MCU. Now, if we find out post this, like in Doctor Strange or in another credit scene of him investigating or him being off somewhere else and couldn't investigate this, I'm
Sure.
okay. But like
Me
Nathan
too.
said, he had a giant book of all the magical beings on Earth. He knows when someone comes, when someone goes. He knows everything that goes on. So it stands to reason that even if he didn't know and it was this big giant magical anomaly in New Jersey, he would go to it eventually.
Travis, you do read comics, right?
Yes.
How many
Chris, and I'm
different
saying
how many different times have we had the same? You can have the same thing in comics
this is
happen
not
too.
comics. This is MCU.
But also,
and
you can
Doctor
do the
Strange
same
is
thing
the
in comics.
you can have the
Same thing.
argument. You can have the
His name
argument
was
that
dropped.
you can have the argument that Wanda didn't let anybody else see that because nobody else knew
What?
about it.
Where did Hayward and them go? Did
What the
they get
fuck?
magical
No,
power
no,
able to see that?
So
No,
that
no,
that
no,
was
no, no.
that was
No,
no.
stop
See
making
that
excuses. Those excuses are not.
There's been
no,
a-
that's
there's been a-
excuses.
there's
that was
been a-
that
there's
was
been
the
a
whole
plane that
thing.
fly by,
That
a
was the whole
commercial
thing with
flight
the
drove by
missing
and went, "What the
persons that
fuck
they
is that
completely skipped.
red thing?"
But after that's when they noticed the hex.
Jimmy
That's
showed
when
up
they-
and he's seen it. Everyone that went there could see it. All the people from Hayward's group. There wasn't one person that said, "I can't see this hex."
No, I'm not
So
saying that they can't see it, but I'm saying self-consciously, from what we know with how messed up Wanda was, She thought that she was making a perfect life, and
No,
she
Clay,
didn't even
no.
know, and she didn't
No.
even know
We're not
everything that
talking
she
about
was
that at
doing
all,
within.
Clay.
No,
We're
that's
talking
not
about
what I'm
Doctor
talking
Strange.
about.
We're talking about
Now,
Doctor Strange.
Yes, yes,
okay.
I
He
understand.
knows
I
everything that
understand that.
magically that goes on Earth.
And let's
They
just,
established that in Thor 3.
well,
If they didn't establish
yes,
that, Travis wouldn't be
yes,
saying this. They're only
yes.
he's only saying this because Doctor Strange actually
The
said that.
nanosecond Loki showed up, they knew. Now this, and like I said, now in the beginning, Westview, let's just say for shits and giggles, before when they showed up and it was completely fucking clear and they couldn't see, maybe that was hidden from Strange. Okay, but we had a point where she shows up outside and puts like the mega fucking juice on it, and it's red and it's jacked up. This has been at least a week's time because she still was doing sitcom episodes in there. So there's been a couple days. Strange is gonna notice this giant magical dome that is seeable, like you can actually see it now that it's all red and pulsating. And then 2 days into that later, not only is it there, it expands and gets bigger. He's gonna notice. This is his job. Literally, his entire job is to protect Earth from magical incursions. And he's gonna notice, like, what? It's gonna go just like, you ever seen the Family Guy episode, or like the first one where like Meg touches the thermostat on there, like every dad runs in, it's like, hey, somebody, my thing went off, like because every dad's got a thing about the thermostat and stuff. And I don't know, it's the first comparison I made, but there should have been Mordo. Somebody should have been like Baron Mordo, who's going tracking people, magicians down, or magic people, is going to go, what? Somebody's noticing.
No. See, I will say one other thing. If they, in going forward, if they address this, if he says, because he was snapped
he
away.
was off world.
I will acknowledge he was snapped away. So there's 5 years worth of magical events that have happened that he got to catch up on. There's stuff that he has to solve. So it's easily explained to me, and that's one thing I love about the MCU, is that it's such a big universe that stuff that happens now can be expanded upon in the future. So if you give me a reason why he didn't investigate after, I'm not even saying him showing up and solving all the problems. I know that comic book thing. I'm not saying like show up Doctor Strange, solve all the problems, make it all go away. No, I'm just saying in this universe, they established that when something magic goes on Earth, he kind of knows about it because he's the Sorcerer Supreme. And Agatha even says you're more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme. So that powerful of being would probably know what's going on at some point. That's all I'm saying. Even when the rift rips open and Agatha and Scarlet Witch are fighting in the sky.
Go ahead. Sorry. I was gonna say, let's just say Spider-Man 3. Let's just say Strange is with Spider-Man jumping through to other Tobey Maguires and stuff. Like it's happening at the same time. The easy explanation, like literally, I wasn't there. I was in another reality. I'm gonna go, okay, perfectly fine. It's on. Like he was literally off world or another reality.
Technically, that couldn't happen because Far From Home takes place 6 months after.
No, not far. Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, never mind. You're right. Never mind. You're right.
But also,
but you know what I'm saying.
Let's pull something out of our ass real quick. And Agatha knows about the Sorcerer Supreme. She name dropped the Sorcerer Supreme in this episode.
Okay.
It could easily, now I'm not saying, it's the same thing. I think this was said either in the Geekverse or here. It's the same thing as Superman. When he sees that there's lead, hey, there's something there that I probably should investigate because I can't see it. But let's say sometimes Superman is ignorant to lead. So same thing, Agatha could be warding off Westview to say, hey, I want to deal with Wanda. The Sorcerer Supreme cannot interfere with that.
That is fine until the rift breaks open and they're fighting, and Hayward's people are allowed to run on in. Then you lose all thing of everything being broken off. She's not doing any of that because at a certain point in that battle, she can't cast any magic anymore in Westview because of Wanda.
But she can still fly. Do you see that?
Yeah, but she can't cast any magic. I know it's really, but I'm saying,
but still.
this is one thing I love about MCU. This can be like, this is a little
easily
bit
fixed, easily.
And I'm not full on board with everything. Like this was an amazing season. I want to make this point because I was arguing a little bit. Like I love this season. I thought it was fantastic. The stuff they did with grief and overpowering it, and so I didn't think we'd see any of the stuff in Marvel, and I love it. Like it hits home with me. When you lose somebody, it was fantastic. Having to give up all character development, everything. Like that's all I'm saying, and that could be addressed for me. That's a disappointment I had. Other people can be fine with it. Like it seems Clay and Chris don't mind, but is a disappointment with me. But the one thing that I love about the MCU is this disappointment can be rectified even 2 or 3 movies down the road. If you just fill me in Doctor Strange, let's say Doctor Strange in Multiverse of Madness, it shows Doctor Strange coming back from the snap, all the events happen, then he goes back to Sanctorium, then he spends a six months montage of cleaning up all the magical mess that's happened since he's been gone. And then I'm like, okay, he wouldn't have seen Westworld. That's fine for me. You don't even need to talk about Westworld. That's fine. But I just need that explanation, Clay.
Well, that's a fucking crossover I want to see.
Westworld.
Holy shit.
That's what I need to see, just because like you established in Thor 3 that he knows everything magic-wise is going on. And at a certain point, like when Hayward's guys can come in, then magic's open up into the world to a point that if he doesn't see it, then say he got to retire. Then they give Wong Sorcerer Supreme and go to the island and retire.
Travis, what song do you use for that montage?
The montage, the same one from Rocky. No, from Rocky 4. Rocky 4 when he's driving on the motorcycle after Apollo Creed dies.
Okay, that works. Okay, so a couple questions that maybe y'all can answer for me that I was looking at this. Jimmy Woo in this one.
Love the woo-ness.
Okay, I love the character in this one. Yeah. At the end, he's looking at Hayward and he's like, he makes the threat about the call to Quantico, which I'm assuming is the FBI headquarters, right? And they're going to be within the hour. And it like makes Hayward like get nervous. If you've had that in your back pocket the whole time, why are you waiting until right now?
He doesn't. Did you not see him pick the cell phone up? He was bluffing. He didn't make the call until after he bluffed him into it.
Yeah. Right, but he hasn't been in cuffs the whole show.
No, but you gotta have actual concrete evidence against Hayward. You just can't because he's high enough up that
it's another government organization too. You can't the FBI is not just gonna kick the CIA's door down and be like, I suspect you of being a dick.
But then why was he? Okay, so I get you. Just because of the hard evidence. That's what I'm asking. I'm asking because of the hard evidence. Okay.
Well, Greg, he got scared at the end because everything started to go to shit for him. Everything was going to shit, and I think he started realizing yeah, I'm going to go down for this, because we even got his explanation. Like, they're going to love me. They're going to say, you got that $4 billion piece of hardware back. Like, dude, what world are you living on? Like,
his thought process, he had to he was finally caught, so he had to explain himself, and that kind of
his villain monologue wasn't very good. They're gonna love me.
I will admit and agree with Snell when we were talking about this last night. Hayward was a very convoluted character because there was nothing concrete for his character to hate Wanda other than the fact that she is a superhero. There was never anything to say why he was so eager to kill Wanda.
Very flimsy.
And from the fact that he went from hey, I want to kill Wanda to hey, I'm gonna headshot these kids. And try to unload on them for
what is up with Monica's power? What the fuck? What was that?
That's a whole nother thing. But
we need to come back to that. Yeah, we need, because I want to know.
When we're talking about Jimmy, when did he get arrested?
Earlier in the episode, when he was caught, wasn't he?
No, he didn't. They didn't show him. So the last time we see Jimmy was when Monica went into the hex, and we don't see anything else. So I think there was other footage that just didn't make it into the show that explains all of him getting caught, and we didn't see it.
Okay. Makes sense.
Because all of a sudden he's just caught, and it's okay, well, how did that happen? Because they were with people that they trusted, were they not?
Doctor Strange was there, and that's what happened. Doctor Strange did it, That's where he was busy there. See, Travis, there we go.
Stop texting Brent.
Is Brent jumping through hoops to make this all good, or what?
Brent tried at least 5 times, and then at a point when I said, well, he could be off, he was like, I don't know, kind of not agree, he was kind of disagreeing with me. Then I was like, well, he was snapped away for 5 years, and there was a lot of magical things that happened while he was gone that he probably had to deal with. And Brent point. I was like, okay, yeah, because I'm backing up the fact that he couldn't be there. Good point.
Well, he could be with Albus Dumbledore.
There's a lot of stuff there's a lot of things that a lot of people wanted to have answered in this episode that I felt that they were just hey, the main thing we need to do, the main thing that we need to focus on is
what? Bring Vision back to life? Was that the point of this show? Bring Vision back to life?
Why not dealing with grief? That was
Well, yeah,
pretty
like
right on the nose.
if there was, I saw a tweet today that said that if you're more worried about Quicksilver, Mephisto, and any of the other fan theories that were out there, then you weren't really paying attention to what the show was really supposed to be about,
Mm-hmm.
which I can kind of agree. The fan theories were fun. You know, freaking
They ain't gonna stop
somebody sneezes and you're like, shit, it's Mephisto, you know?
Well, I had like 8 theories on this whole thing, and I didn't get any of them right, and I loved it. Like I said, the only thing I have is not even about like expectations. It's just the precedent that MCU set of a magical event happening. I just wanted him after. I didn't want him to solve Minus problem. That's something I want to point out.
No,
I wanted all that to be solved on its own. I just want
Mhm.
him to be like, yeah, this 2-week event's going on, and even if I finally figure out about it, and like I said, that can be addressed. But for the whole show, like I'm definitely going to rewatch this. This was grade A television. Elizabeth Olsen was
Mhm.
like,
She was phenomenal in this. I will give her credit. Her range in this was phenomenal, and she like literally from stereotypical sitcom housewife to the emotional
So
stuff.
we
to the
always
fierce
make
to
fun
good.
of like superhero movies, whether they are like deserving of awards and whatnot. Would you give Elizabeth Olsen, and I'm asking this to everybody, would you give any kind of a nomination to Elizabeth Olsen for her performance in WandaVision?
Yes,
You could
episode
argue
8 is
the
what
case towards me. You could-
episode
yeah,
8
you
is
could
what
make
they
an
should
argument.
submit. They should
You
submit
could- you-
episode 8.
you could
for
submit just a
consideration.
montage from the 10 episodes because of all the things she had.
Which
to,
one's
like,
episode 8, Chris?
All the
The
9. Sorry,
penultimate. They only get to submit one episode for
Oh,
consideration.
last episode.
for
Yeah, you're right.
but
Yeah,
that's a shame, Chris, because her like all the characters she had to play and all the roles and all the ranges that like you appreciate more if you like
No,
the
no,
whole
that,
9 things.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
but that's what happens with the awards. If they
Oh, yeah.
say they're nominated for best, they get to submit a episode. And if it's a first season, you're usually submitting the pilot, but not always. It's usually the pilot. But for her,
I
submit
would agree.
episode 8.
Episode 8, just because that's where you get the most emotion from her.
Yes.
So
And
I would totally do it. Yeah.
I would do it too, Clay, and I think it's just a good thing in general because I think we can all agree that there have been performances in the last even 20 to 30 years that should have been nominated in comic book movies that never did. Now, I'm not saying one, but they should have been nominated. It's just comic book movies were considered a joke, and that's another good thing about Infinity War, Endgame, all those kind of establishing that, like, comic book. I wish they would have won something more concrete in terms of like film wise in terms of awards, but I still think they're trending to that direction where we're going to get a best actor playing a comic book character very soon.
Yeah, it's very possible. I got a couple more questions maybe y'all can answer because I'm trying to make, if y'all can answer these and
Is it the White Vision? Because I had the question about Chris about that because I had no idea what was going on with that.
I do have a question about the White Vision. Just mine real quick. What happened to him? Where'd he go? Like, what's the deal? Or is that to be continued?
To be continued.
Okay. I'm cool with that.
We'll talk about that in Marvel Lines.
I'm cool with that.
Stay tuned.
Okay, cool. I'm cool with that. Good. You have a question about White Vision, or was that your question?
Well, I did. So he has all the memories, but he doesn't have the personality, right? Like that's
Correct.
not okay. I was just trying to, and I guess all those memories that was quite a shock to him because I would normally think if you had all those, you'd go to Wanda, but he doesn't have his personality.
That's what I thought
I'm
too.
so interested in this.
Yeah, when based on the arc, Vision Quest at that point, when the government took Vision, took him apart because Vision had, lost his mind, got control of a whole bunch of government weapons at that point. He got fixed, but they said we can't have him out there because he's joining the Avengers again. That was part of the deal. You don't join the Avengers, we'll leave you alone. Well, they disassembled him, and when Hank Pym reassembled him, they literally, after they disassembled, erased any idea of who Vision was. So they had to grab back whatever they could, and they were able to reinsert the memories. However, the personalities and the certain things, like he knew who Wanda was. He knew that they were together, but he was not the same person. Like he knew of the kids, but he did not like have that. It was like the whole thing of the foundation of the home. That is the empty shell. That is what Vision is at this point. And to some extent, like those memories putting back is the beginning of what Vision having his own Vision Quest at that point. Who is this new Vision now?
And my second question about Vision kind of is rolling right along with this. In this episode, Vision gives him the memories, correct?
Mhm.
Doesn't it state a couple episodes back the Vision doesn't remember anything before?
It's not
He
the
said he
Vision
unlocked
from
the programming.
Yeah,
It's the
it's not
programming
the
in
Vision
White
from
Vision's
the
head.
Hex. It's Vision from like his actual body, and the White Vision even says, "Oh, it's to where they can control a weapon more easily."
Okay.
And so
okay.
he's breaking down a firewall, basically.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
Hex Vision or the Memory Vision, however you want to really label them, he unlocks or
Yeah, he
passes through
takes
that
down the
firewall.
firewalls.
Yep.
And so he's able
Okay.
to remember everything. And like they said, he has no personality. And even the Vision of the Hex says, like, "Oh, I am all but a personality,
Mhm.
nothing more than a collection of data." Basically, is what he said.
Yeah.
So I kind of mixed the two up whenever I was talking last night, really late at night. But I thought Vision was saying that he was full of the memories as well, but it's not.
So we can call them like personality vision and white bread vision.
Ooh.
Basically.
Ooh, you're gonna get
Be
canceled.
careful. Yeah, we might get
Geekverse has been calling him
Canceled.
Snow Vision. So
Oh, they can't say that either. So
Yeah.
close to
No,
Snowflake.
no,
You're,
it's-
you're
it's
canceled for
Snowvision.
that
Yeah,
too.
come on,
Snow
y'all.
vision. It's snow vision. Thanks, Clay. That's amazing.
I'm
Good
going with
God.
White Vision because that's what it was called in the comic. So
yeah, he was.
Chris,
And
that
Chris,
doesn't matter,
I will say
Chris.
this, Chris,
That was
you
yesterday time.
you have the best callback to White Vision because you unlocked a memory that I had forgotten that I had. The Avengers
What?
arcade was an amazing
yeah.
game.
I remember
Vision
that.
was a playable character as
Mhm.
White Vision.
The port was not amazing. Captain America and the Avengers.
Yeah, it's not
hunt for the
it's-
gems.
but heck, it was what we had.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If I wanted it to play it at the house, that's what we
Yeah.
had.
Oh, it was amazing back then, but then revisiting it is not like I revisit Spider-Man and Venom Maximum Carnage, and that is still like fantastic. And then I visit Captain America and the Avengers, and it's
But a
poopy.
green jelly,
Poopy.
hardcore rock.
But now the cab, astonishing for friends going like astonishing. I can remember playing that like, and nobody wanted to be Captain America. That was the thing I remembered. Like everyone was like, "Oh, I'm Captain America, come on," kind of deal.
Like Aquaman. Oh.
Yeah.
Now he's cool. Now Captain
Yes.
America's cool.
I have
So is Aquaman.
Yep, so it's
So
Aquaman.
that's true. I have one more question for us, and to see
girl.
if you guys can explain this for me. And this, for me, is I think just bad writing, and just the dialogue of this is whenever Rambo is talking to Wanda right after she's given up everything, and Wanda's walking out, and she looks at her and she says, "They'll never know what you've given up for them."
I hated that too.
I
thought it
was like,
just
are
me.
you
I was like,
serious?
What?
You mean the people that you entrapped
imprisoned them for
in
over
prison
2
and took
weeks.
from their
Try that
families
first,
will never know what
The
you've
one lady's
given up
like
to them?
crying. She's crying. She's like, "Can I just see my daughter? Like, can I just hug her?" Yeah, they'll
No,
never know
you
what
can't.
you gave up.
Stop it.
Shut up.
Yeah. I was like, that is bad writing. Like that's like literally me kidnapping somebody and then realizing a week later, maybe I
She
shouldn't
did
have done
it
this
to
and let it
herself
go and
because
been
she was
like,
grieving.
okay.
She created her own
Okay.
kids, fucking
Okay.
enslaved all these people for
Okay.
2 weeks, and now it's just like
No,
It
it
wasn't-
gave
you're
up the kids
stretching-
you created.
You're
It
stretching
was-
that, Greg. You kidnapped somebody, and then you realize she didn't realize that she did this for the first few weeks.
Okay, if I hit somebody with a car and don't realize I hit him with a car, it's still murder.
Still hit him with a front car.
It's still murder.
What
I mean, what's your point? I mean, dude.
You're first of all, you're saying this was murder, so you're going like
No,
you're
I'm
stretching
not
this
saying that's
outrageous.
putting words in my mouth.
You-
I'm
you
not saying
can't-
this is
no,
murder.
You just
It was an
said,
analogy.
You just said
It was
no,
an
because
analogy.
it's so frustrating. It's so
the
frustrating.
analogy was murder. That's
No,
not-
it's so frustrating because you're stretching this stuff. She gave up her husband and 2 kids. That is what Monica
She gave up
is
memory.
referencing. That is no, she gave up what is the physical embodiment in this thing. That's what Monica was saying. That's the only thing she was talking about.
Mhm.
But it was it not earned, maybe, but I think the glaring people were supporting your point. So I think they showed both views there. So I don't understand why it was an issue, is what I'm saying.
Also, my wife brought up a really good point. I kind of moved past it last night when I saw it the first time, but I quickly noticed it when my wife said it on her first viewing, which was literally right before I jumped on here. So she fixes everything, the hex is gone, and she's walking into the town square with her hood, trying to hide from everybody, which is the MCU.
Ridiculous.
But also,
ridiculous.
In the middle of the episode, she told everybody to leave.
They're all still there.
And they're all there.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
And they're
is
just
how?
glaring at her and scowling like, you bitch.
That event just happened too, and you're all running for your life like Godzilla was coming to your town.
Mm-hmm.
Like
what
for
shows
real, like they all left. Like, and don't get me wrong, I love, like Travis was saying, this is not a bad episode, but there's things like this that I reflect on that I'm just like, oh, that's a little silly and a little weird. But they were all running away, regardless of if they were able to make it out of the hex. That's something that you could probably argue. But they were all dead center of the town square.
Can I bring up something that's ridiculous?
No.
Darcy gets Haywood by just driving in and closing the door. Climb out the fucking passenger side because they give a shot. Now, if he would have been knocked out in the cab, I would have been fine. But he literally looks up at her and glares, and then he just sits
going
there.
To prison.
What are you talking? Get the fuck. He's gonna jump over the other side and yank her ass out of that truck and take off.
He could have been pinned. The door could have been jammed, like when you're
on his leg or something. That we need. Come on, man. We gotta have a little more. He's just looking at her like, you bitch. Like he's not gonna at least try to climb over that center console.
The scowl that he gave her. Oh my god.
I loved that. I loved it. I loved that whole thing. I was like, yes.
Like, come on, man. Let's get this shit together.
Loved it.
I did like a callback to the runes though, where she's like, like draining her, getting all like emaciated and all Skeletor like and shit, and then like all of a sudden the runes come up on the hex. I was like, all right, that's a pretty nice callback and touch to. I mean, callback to like an episode before, but whatever, you know what I mean. I thought it was still kind of.
But she was learning, and that's
yes, exactly.
Really
it goes back to Clay's point earlier when I was listening of like her, like how fast she's progressing at the end when it shows her like learning from the book and doing another thing at the same time, and she wasn't even doing actual projections like that before this show even started. It's same thing here. We just got one projection, like she's just going on a line like this, and I don't know where it's going to stop. And what Chris was saying before is what I'm most interested in with Agatha saying you don't know what you've unleashed. I gotta say, I was really hoping that she didn't kill Agatha, because like I want some of these villains to have bads that they encounter multiple times throughout the MCU. So I'm hoping that Agatha eventually gets out and causes more trouble for Wanda.
But even for the fact that Elizabeth Olsen, Wanda said, like, because Agatha's like, you're gonna need me, and she said, okay, fine. Even if I do,
you'll be right here.
I'll know where to find you.
And I love that because there is comic book precedent for Agatha to both be against and for Wanda.
Right.
Doesn't she in the nanny to like Franklin Richards, who can literally as a kid change fucking reality as his mutant power? Like, isn't that what his mutant powers is? That he can literally just change reality.
Well, Franklin then or Franklin now?
Yeah, Franklin
now ain't anything now.
Yeah, he's nothing now.
He's nothing now.
Why? What do you mean? What happened?
Well, you got to read.
Yeah,
long
Just
story.
fucking tell me. Give me the cliff notes. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, spoilers for about 10 seconds. Basically, Franklin lost his powers.
Yeah, he lost his powers. He
Like,
burned out. He wasn't
basically his godlike powers as a mutant were so strong that there was a limit, basically, that he was using so much of it that it was deteriorating his mutant gene. And so eventually he used the very last of it so
he's not allowed on Krakoa. They're like, F this guy. He's not
basically
right.
There was a moment where Professor Xavier said, hey, you're no longer a mutant, so you're no longer family. Peace out.
I can't read this. I don't like the Xavier that's in this. If Magneto would have said that, I'd be like, all right. If Eric would have told him to get out because you're not a mutant, fine. But Xavier, oh man. I gotta read the run.
My motives were more of just building out a Rose Gallery, because just for example, Birds of Prey. It really bummed me out that he killed Black Mass, because I love Black Mass in that. And sometimes it has to happen, but
don't worry, they can bring it back. Nobody saw that.
I was so glad.
Yeah,
and also just the other point, just the other point, I'm so glad the MCU's back. Like, it's been way too long since the Spider-Man to now. And I just love, like I said, I didn't get
I'm pumped for Falcon.
I didn't get any of my fan theories right at all. And I couldn't be more happier about it. Like I said, I love this whole season, and this is so happy. I've learned from Crisis not to, even if I have theories, don't sit down and think of scenes that you want to see in a show, in a episode, in a story. That is what burns you. Because honestly, I had it built up in my head that Flash and Arrow were going to go on a mission by themselves because they're the ones that started it, and this is going to shut down. So they're going to go and get something, and I'm going to finally see that one where he shoots the arrow, and Flash is going to throw the lightning, and you'll have a lightning electrocuted arrow going through.
Man,
And
Jesus,
I had that all
you
built.
really
Yes.
went into detail on your dreams
Clay,
there, bud.
Clay, look at the video, my reaction video of that. I couldn't have been more happy watching it. So,
But the thing is, like, you can have theories, you can have things to look forward to, but you can't be so beholden to the fact that it's gonna happen because I want it to happen, will it to happen. That's what people get to the point where
the
you
idea
can't-
of
you know, it's kind of like the meme I posted, in the sense of, so your theories didn't pan out. The shows are great because we get these theories, we get these ideas, and we sometimes create even a better story. Guess what? 9 times out of 10, it ain't totally working out, but still, I still enjoyed the theories. I still enjoyed my theories.
I think it's because the story was so well in this one compared to Crisis, for example, which I thought was a jumbled mess.
That has
Oh,
been
when you
the
compare
biggest
that,
letdown
yeah.
in Travis's life. Is Crisis on
It was.
the
It
biggest
was
letdown in his
in
life.
my comic book. In my comic book. No, not my
God.
biggest TMNT3, but no, I just feel like the story and the characters were handled with so care here that the only gripe I have with this is something that is more continuity based that can be addressed going forward. So
Sure.
I mean, if that would have came out of 9 episodes, you would have told me that 9 episodes ago, I would have been like, oh, score it. I couldn't ask for anything better. So
I
What
think
is
it would
up?
be, I think it's
Tell
a
me
lot.
Monica's powers. Sorry, I want to come back to that. What is that? What was that? She
So-
turned wavy and the bullet went through, and then she turned unwavy. It was like, hey, like I don't
That is
get
something completely new. Now, I know that because her powers are UV related, she can see energy and she can see light and everything else. That's what her powers are in the comics. Now, I do know that she can also bend light, which means that she can become invisible. That's kind of what she was doing here, but she did it to the fact where it went through her body. And I guess that because her insides are still, I guess, mass, that it slowed down the bullets, and in that case, it should have pierced her organs anyway. It was weird.
is it similar? Is it similar to that villain in The Flash, the one that can bend light? We also seen some of the similar power.
Dr. Light.
No, yeah, well, yeah, but it's the female version.
Yes,
was more
yes.
powerful.
Dr. Light
Light?
is Dr. Light is the same thing, but I know that in the comics, Rambo or Photon can, like she was doing here when she looked at Ralph and like, oh, how is she controlling you? She saw the energy coming off, or the magic coming off of the necklace. And so that's what she is normally seen as. Like, I've only read a handful of her comics. I haven't seen much anything at her as like a main character in there. It's more of like, hey, I'm only showing up for a split second to do this or talk to this character or do that. But that's what I have seen her as.
Question.
Denied.
I'm trying to think of this. I'm trying to think of this way to word this now.
Just say it.
No, I'm.
You're the guy that waits in line at Dairy
Okay,
Queen
no,
for
no,
forever,
I just
and then
want-
gets to the menu and goes,
Yeah, because
Just
I'm staring at a menu of questions here that I can pick from. No, so is it established that the chaos magic and the magic like that Agatha uses is all that the same as the cosmic energy that we
Like the
we heard
power
about?
cosmic?
Yeah, like they talked about it the first couple episodes that the energy from the hex was cosmic, like that could fill things, like they use that to fill villain, right?
Yeah.
Fill the
So
vision.
I would assume that is chaos magic, just like what Wanda was using. But the one that Agatha was using is not chaos magic.
No,
I don't believe.
so but Wanda's magic is similar to the Infinity Stones in terms of the cosmic.
Yes,
they
because
said
that's
this-
where
yeah.
her powers come from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, that makes yeah. Then I didn't even think about the powers coming from the stone, but that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah, because she even says like her creation of vision came from the
Oh,
Mind Stone
Mind
within
Stone.
her, the shard of the Mind Stone.
And now the question I have is because, like, is it just because she was prophesied to be the Scarlet Witch that she had that little bit of ability early on, or did she have some latent mutant ability and that was shown a little bit, but then the stone unlocked it to its full potential? Because I'm so curious, like
That's the mystery.
with Pietro getting his speed, and we didn't get any backstory as to when he started to get his speed. So
Mhm.
that's what I'm so confused about, because she was able to touch the stone, and it tends the reason that he had
Hate Aaron Taylor Johnson.
no, but it tends the reason he
Like
had
F
to do,
this guy.
it tends the reason he had to do the exact same thing though. Like he had to have the same sort of thing happen. That
I had
Wanda had
candidate
happened to
as
her.
almost like how Thor is worthy, or like being worthy of the power of Thor.
Mhm.
It kind of just happened for, like, let's say Captain America. We all knew he was worthy or whatever. Same thing with Wanda and the way they're interpreting this Scarlet Witch of the MCU. It was something that she was kind of destined to be, but it didn't manifest in its entirety until she accepted the power. Because the whole thing with the Infinity Stone, we saw it like pretty much accept her and, show her the vision of who she will become in episode 8. But here in episode 9, the finale, she
Lots of
then
visions.
embraced it. You know,
But my question, did Quicksilver Pietro had that same moment? Like,
I think
or
you have
how
to-
did
well,
he?
we don't know,
I think you
and
have
I
to
don't think
assume-
that's
Well,
something.
like,
Yeah.
like,
No,
like I
but
think
if
what
you
Travis
guys,
is saying is like, was he running, like, was a dog chasing running, and all of a sudden, like, he needed to go faster, and all of a sudden he actually went faster. You know what I mean? Like,
But
did
I
he
don't
have
think
that
it's important. I don't think
unlocked
it's
small
important
power
though.
thing?
Yeah,
Like, I
and
don't-
Yes, it's majorly important for
They're
mutant
twins.
heroes in
It is
general.
important. Is it mutant gene, or is it fucking magic? Like, what happened?
It's not going to be important because they're not going to bring him back.
Yeah.
Like, that's
It
and
is
the,
important.
the thing is too is you got to remember when you first got presented with Pietro and Wanda, they were
I like
kind
the
of
way
in
he
a
said that,
cage and
Pietro.
showed them as the twins, a little younger, and they both had the powers. They were volunteers in that place before that. I'm sure
Mhm.
once their powers manifested, they never left that place
Mhm.
until they were released.
Yeah,
But Greg,
what
they
we're trying to
showed us
figure
that
out
they
is
were
if-
like fucking 10 when supposedly, because she says, "Oh, you used some kind of jinx to make the bomb not go off," which would stand to reason that Pietro's power should be kicking in at the same time from the same kind of trauma or something similar.
if it's a
They're
mutant
twins.
gene. If
Yeah,
it's
it's
a mutant
mutant
gene.
gene.
Well, that
They're-
okay. Well,
if you interpret that as mutant gene, her using the jinx to turn the bomb off.
we're
Yeah,
saying.
that's
We're saying
kind
you
of the
can't.
question.
You can't
Yeah.
right now because it's only showed Wanda. That's all I was trying to
Mhm.
ask Clay, was that did he think that Pietro had the same sort of thing, or
Right.
it's very easily possible from seeing Wanda that somehow she could have gave Pietro his power from
Sarah's
what we've
like, these
seen.
guys are crazy.
No, I'm just really curious. I'm really curious how Pietro got his powers. That's all.
We love you, Sarah. You're so patient with us.
Yes.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see, but I think I'm along Clay. I don't think you'll ever see the character again, so that's probably why you'll
Oh,
never.
yeah.
I know they hate him. They hate him. Why? They're like, the fucking Whedon casting this guy. We fucking hate him. I don't understand. They want nothing to do with him.
He
Mhm.
died.
Well, but
Yeah.
you could have a little. I mean, she's doing all this other stuff. Okay, instead of quote recasting, like they could. I don't know.
Yeah, that still didn't make any
sense.
sense to me, though. That just didn't make any
Yeah.
sense. I mean, it was
What's that?
like, I got excited because I'm like, maybe they're
So-
bringing in like the other X-Men, from that.
There's people
Universe,
now theorizing that Jimmy Woo's missing person
Is Boner?
was supposed to be Ralph.
Well, saying that was going to be my question too, because at the very beginning, Wu was like, yeah, we're looking for a missing person, but it was never established who that was, unless I totally missed it.
No, they
No.
never
Yeah.
acknowledged it. And so a lot of people are saying, oh, well, that's just a missing thread that they kind of just like threw to the wayside because more things were more important, which I totally agree. But then also there was that line in the very first episode also where Jimmy Woo was like, oh, it's not a missing person, it's a missing town. It's and I think more so that connects to the idea of like, if people are forgetting who was in the town and the people in town were forgetting who they were,
Mm-hmm.
I think that whole missing person thing was kind of just like, hey, it probably is just some random person within Westview that once the hex is over, it doesn't really matter because everybody's their normal selves.
That was just kind of lead in just to get to get them there. I guess
It could be
just kind of.
Sarah. It could be somebody's family that doesn't live in Westview, didn't hear from them
That's
for a
true.
couple of days, and then they
Mhm.
called the authorities and said, "I haven't heard from them, so can you check it out?"
There was the lady at the end whenever they kind of got into the mind control, and she was like, "My husband's out of town on a business or like on a business trip
Tell
on
him
a
to stay
flight.
away."
Tell him to stay away." Maybe it was him.
Forever.
Or here's an
Mhm.
idea. Maybe it was Doctor Strange, and that ties up all the threads right there. Now you've solved that thread about the missing
Damn it.
person and why Doctor Strange wasn't
He
there.
was
the
missing. That's
person.
why he wasn't
That's
able
right.
to save everybody.
I just did it.
Mm.
I solved it.
Actually, it
Boom,
was
Greg.
Mephisto.
Case
That's
closed.
God
No,
damn it,
we saw the
Mephisto.
rabbit. We saw the rabbit eat Mephisto. We saw the rabbit eat Mephisto. Okay, guys.
The
We saw
rabbit
them
was
off the
Mephisto.
thing, just ate him.
Isn't
Chunked him
Mephisto
up.
isn't Mephisto the friends we met along the way? No. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't get that one.
I don't get it. Over my
I
head.
figured that.
Over my head.
All right. Well, y'all got anything else you want to say about WandaVision? Have we wrapped it up? In a
Who's
nice
ready
little
for
bow
season
here?
2?
We
Well,
have, but MCU hasn't. Yeah.
Is there going to be a season 2?
No, I was
I think
totally.
so.
a joke.
Oh my God, there definitely is.
I
Nah, I
Travis is
wouldn't.
gonna like have a fit
After
if it
this,
doesn't.
no, I won't have
No.
a fit. I just won't have a fit. But this was a huge hit. If they don't do another season, another show will pop up and take its place. This is going to
Well,
be
Feige-
bigger.
There'll
It
be a
was very
different. There'll be
telling.
there'll be a different show, but
Mhm.
this story has been told.
Feige,
Oh, no,
it's,
but
it's
you-
very
it's-
telling leading into movies or some leading into second seasons. There's some that are planned out. This was never. I don't believe this was ever planned out as a 2-season arc, especially with, like you guys said, going through the stages of grief. I think this leads directly into Strange, and after that, there's no room for season 2.
Vision didn't fly away to do a complete quest that you
Yeah,
could look.
but
to. No,
Vision
no,
will also come. Vision also will come around to the fact that he has children, and that's the whole
Really?
point.
Will it take
Oh,
a long
I think
time? Will it take love?
whether it be
take
whether
eight
it be
episodes,
in
Clay?
Multiverse of Madness or in an end credits scene, I think it'll be like Wanda will acknowledge. Wanda will meet this other Vision, because that was
Oh,
the
I
whole
agree.
point of the end of the show, saying like, oh, if this is going to be goodbye, I'm sure we'll say hello again. And I think at the end of Multiverse of Madness or
Maybe
somewhere
robots,
inside
huh?
Spider-Man, there will be an appearance of Vision, and they'll reconnect or rekindle or whatever.
But does Vision realize that he has kids? Because aren't they gone? That was the one theory that I had. Right.
There's a
was that
memory
she
he
was-
didn't
She's
know.
she
You're
was the
right.
kid.
She's pulling
Yeah,
them
you're
back
right.
in
You know,
Multiverse
but-
of Madness.
Yeah, but right now
They're
he
coming
doesn't
back.
know he has kids because he only remembers up to when
No,
Thanos ripped his head off.
I'm not saying that he will remember he has kids. I'm saying that
He'll
he
realize.
will acknowledge that he has kids
Oh, okay.
through Wanda. Wanda will say, "Hey, I'm doing
Fact or
this
fiction?
because
what?
I have kids."
Oh my
Yeah.
God, those kids are going to mean nothing to that Vision at all because he had none of the memories in the Hex.
If
Like,
he,
they're
if
also
he
gone. The kids
rekindles
are gone.
if he rekindles anything with Wanda, those kids will mean everything to him.
If you got
Sorry.
no memories of them, no memories of making them, eventually they will mean everything to him. But I don't think you can flat out say like right away. I think that it will take some time. Like it's going to be.
What if he's horrified that she creates him out of thin air and he kills him? Just like beams him right.
Okay.
Cuts him right down.
They're already
There's a
dead.
curveball.
Am I
Nobody
missing
wants to
something?
that.
See,
No.
I try to make
So
a
here's-
critique, and then Nathan goes.
So the Hex. So Greg. So to answer your question, you're saying the kids are dead. The Hex.
Yes, the kids are dead.
The
They're gone.
Hex was a pocket dimension. The
Mhm.
Hex was
Okay.
its own
Okay.
was its own bending of
I'm with
reality.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I'm with you. Which means
When-
Strange should have known immediately.
When she
You're further than
dispersed
my
it,
point.
when she dispersed it, you cannot destroy a universe. Like you cannot destroy like it's the same thing with like an atom or mass or anything. You cannot destroy it. It's just is displaced. So she is looking for her kids at the end. That's why she hears the kids say, she hears what's Wiccan's name? I forgot his name. Billy. She
Right.
hears Billy say, "Mom, help."
Mhm.
And that's when she does her little like hand wave and then it ends.
Mhm.
She is going to go searching for them because they are still
For her,
alive in
that's
some
strange.
sort of
Strange.
She
You
can
wanna help
search
her
for
bring it
that
back.
vision. That Vision too. Then right?
Yes and no, because the fact she has that power, and whether it was reconsumed into her or not, she can recreate that if she absolutely needs to. So if she confronts this snow vision and they say, hey, we did have this life together in this hex, I would like to have that again. She can place all of those memories
Yeah, they can
and that
reconnect at some
personality
point.
into the vision that we now
They
have.
can quote interface.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay. I think that answers it all for me. I don't know.
All right.
It's weird.
We're just going round in circles here.
Yeah.
We're going to wait for Chris and Travis to really explain it to us because I know he's holding back. He's over here going, these dumb motherfuckers. He's just waiting to school us on Marvel Alliance. He's going, I'm going to fuck all these guys up.
We've got a hopefully everything goes out confirmed, but we've got a fun guest coming on.
Brent, we look forward to seeing
it's not
you.
Brent.
No.
It's not Brent.
Chris, I told you to not announce it, okay? I
Right.
wasn't going to share it. But
Yeah.
no, I'm
Too
good.
late now.
It's Sarah actually, but
Oh, well, Sarah is a hell of a special guest. I look forward to hearing your thoughts, Sarah.
Jeez. I'm in my own little multiverse of madness over here.
I
but
hear you.
anyways.
Yeah, it's getting late on the East Coast.
Oh,
I know, Travis. I know you're gonna say something. I know you're gonna say something.
That's why I hate podcasting with people in the UK. They're like, yeah, it was 5 hours even earlier here. I was like, oh, give it up. You're taking away my thing.
All right. Well, do y'all have anything else you want to say? We've wrapped up covered a lot of stuff tonight.
I'd like to thank Mr. 57 here for finally gracing us with his presence instead of just watching us on the video and just chiming in the chat room. I really
Somebody
appreciate
has to
it.
troll me in the
And I
chat room.
appreciate the backup. Hey, that was the Mega Powers right there. That was Hogan and Macho Man. That was my tag team partner coming in off the
It was
top
really,
rope.
it didn't feel good for me because normally I'm coming in to go against something you're saying. So it was like,
Right,
a
I know. I know.
Whole heel turn.
It's all right. It's all
I
right.
got tagged in.
He came in off the top rope with the elbow just in time.
I'm going to be honest with you, 15 minutes earlier, I was falling asleep and my girlfriend
I
got up,
understand.
got ready
I
for
know.
bed. And I was like, no, I'm not going to bed yet. And I started watching you guys and was
I
like,
must talk WandaVision.
when they were like,
Let's
Dr. Strange should,
go.
when they were like, Dr. Strange shouldn't show up, I was like, it was like the bat symbol. I was like, I've done this. I was like, I've done this enough today with Brent.
I was Robin, and Batman needed to come save me. I was getting my ass kicked by the Joker. Here comes Batman, swooping in.
I don't want that responsibility. I'm Alfred.
That'd still be pretty cool.
Gets all the girls, gets used all the money, don't have to take any risk. I mean, come on.
And Batman's not there. Bruce Wayne's not there half the time, so you pretty much got the mansion to yourself.
Never pictured Alfred as the ladies' man, but hey, and we talked about Man of
Always
Steel
pictured
earlier. I
Alfred as
listened to
ladies'
DC on screen. I listened to DC on screen do their commentary of Man of Steel, and one thing I never ever thought of in my life until listening to that show is that Lois left the little present in that bucket whenever in the beginning of the movie, and I still can't get that out of my fucking head. Whenever she's on the general base and just looks at the bucket, she smiles. Jason was like, I just picture her leaving a present in there for them and them guys coming in. I went, what in the fuck is wrong with you? Now I'll never get that shit out of my head.
Thanks for sharing that with
Damn
us.
it.
Yeah.
Well, no, you listened to the episode. You just didn't catch it. I just want to make sure it stuck out.
I
to you,
didn't
okay?
listen to the episode because I never watched the movie yet.
Man of Steel? You never
No,
watched the movie?
I don't.
Oh, you're
I'm-
going to watch it with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. I was like listening and working. I got you. You're going to actually do this.
Yeah.
I'm picking up what you're throwing down. Well, wait
There
till
you
you get to that part because now it's going to be stuck in your head the whole time because now that's all I think about. I even text Dave to be like, what in the hell? That's one thing I never thought of, and now it's stuck in my head.
Yep. All right. Y'all ready to get out of here?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's kick it, man. All right. Just thank y'all so much. I'm put everybody's handles in the show notes. Show them where to find you. We've said it enough times. We're 85 episodes in. If you don't know us by now,
I can't help
Let's
you.
go.
yeah,
Right.
Research us. So, but we appreciate everybody who contributes, everybody who watches. Give us a like, give us a share. Just keep listening. We really appreciate it. Interact with us, ask questions. We're down for all that kind of stuff. You got something to say, Travis?
Except for Nathan. Nathan doesn't bother with that.
13 days, and I wonder what the hero will be tomorrow.
It's Wonder Woman.
Bet you $50 is gonna be Wonder Woman.
Chris, I was just trying to tease the audience. I know it was Wonder
Dang
Woman too.
You came on late. We've said it a bunch
You
of
came
times.
out, we did.
Okay.
We said it a bunch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you,
Also,
buddy.
right
Thank you, buddy.
before we say anything, thank you, Sarah, for reminding me. If anybody would like a beautiful Zack Snyder's
Shameless
Justice
plug.
League Tumblr. Yes, shameless plug. Go
Hey,
to
hey.
Inahosa Vinyl Designs. That's HINOJOSA Vinyl Designs on Etsy. It is the one item that I have on my shop because right now I cannot juggle any other projects.
I get it.
Go do that. I actually sold my 40th cup the other day.
Yay!
Yeah.
Very nice.
So
Congratulations.
really,
I put your link in the show, the your link, all link, or the link that's got everything on it.
the link
All
tree.
your stuff. Yeah, the link tree. I put that in the notes for you, so that way they can check out all your stuff.
Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you.
Cool. But all right, y'all. Thank y'all so much, and I'm sure I'll probably be talking to the rest of y'all probably later on this evening. So
Keep
nice
pounding,
week, y'all.
right?
Keep pounding.
Ah, stole your
That's
thing.
Can't ever steal it. Keep saying. Later, y'all.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye bye.
Later, everyone.